Do it.
Clobberin time!
Hello. We're being heard, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to Wild Card Wednesday night on Clobberin Times. I suppose we're live. I don't know.
I think we are.
We're live and living.
Are we on the right channel for football?
Well, yes, we are. Tonight we are. Welcome, everyone, to Clobberin Times issue number. You hear me all right there, Nick? Remember last night I was having some issues. You all right?
No, you actually second half of Toxic Tuesday last night, you were starting to like sound fine whenever you're speaking, but that first hour it was really odd. But then second hour it was like we forgot there was even an issue. And right now you sound great.
I made some adjustments. I hope it worked. Anyway, thanks, bro. Sorry about that, man.
Oh, dude, I didn't care. I just no. I had a good time, you knew. Oh God, dude. Last night was a blast, and we had a lot of new faces watching too, and I gotta give a shout out to Mr. Quarterblack Garrett for that because he sent a lot of new people my way who were listening and lurking.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I gained like around 10 subs from that stream last night, and they must have been all people. And yeah, people were commenting, "Oh, I'm gonna watch the show." And people were like, "Oh, this is fun." Oh, yeah. So no, it was my most watched Toxic Tuesday ever, ever. So that was the fun panel. Like it was a perfect movie for it to be like one of those ones. So shout out to Quarter Black. That dude absolutely rules. I can't wait to have him back on Toxic, and Clobby and Mark, dude. I was so glad to have you guys on for that. Was an awesome panel.
That was fun. Yep.
A lot of fun. Love some Big Trouble in Little China, man. What a great movie.
Oh yeah.
Hello everyone out there. We're gonna do a couple of little show notes, and then we'll get started on our unusual topic tonight. Well, it's not unusual from my old show. Before I came over here from BTR, I did a regular show on there every Saturday night. It was actually, Nick. It wasn't just I was until I gave it the NFL last year. A New Orleans Saints fan for 50 years. It was a Saints show, combination Bears show because I had a buddy of mine who was a Bears fan, and you're a Bears fan. And we talked about the rest of the NFL a little bit, but pick the games and stuff. But
yeah,
we would talk about how our team did and stuff like that for years, and it was a lot of fun. And I miss doing that. Now that the NFL is dead to me, don't worry, everyone. I won't elaborate as to why. I like to, I've always been a huge fan of NFL history, but I'll do a little bit of a show notes here, folks. Tomorrow on the Global Geek Gang that is globally geeky. Got a special show for you tomorrow. It's going to be the dream team-ups, the team-ups you wish could happen. I'm going to delve into a magical well, and I gave a slightly preview of this when it was on your show recently, Nick.
Yes, that was a fun panel. We had thoughts on for that one too. That was great.
Fun 10-4. One. You can, and I'm going to let people both in the chat and friends here Name a team up you want to see. Obviously, a crossover, company crossover type thing or a weird one. And if you do it, I'm going to show it to you. If you name it, I'm going to show you that team up. We're going to have some fun looking at some great what if they did these comics. So going to have a lot of fun with that. Of course, everyone, Saturday night Star Trek, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 more episodes with my lovely first officer, R.M. Briggs. Looking forward to that. If we have Saturday, look, you people who are showing up for Saturday Night Star Trek, you've just been fantastic. We're having a wonderful time. I want to thank you all. We just we have a blast every time, and I hope you have as much fun as we do. And we really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. And Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk, Chapter 3 of the great Team Up Comics. Had a great time my first week talking World's Finest. This past week, my buddy Carlos joined me talking about Brave and the Bold, as in the Batman title, not the cartoon, which I do love. And now Marvel Team Up. We're doing them in order. There were 5, of course, great ones. World's Finest, Brave and the Bold, Marvel Team Up, Marvel 2-in-1, and DC Comics Presents. And superheroes wall to wall. That's why I like it. So looking forward to that. And hey, of course, my new video just dropped a little while ago. My Clobby's Comics Corner, the spinner rack of time. Dropped the new one there. It's a short one.
Nice.
So you'll
I'll have to watch that.
There we go. Thank you. And then tomorrow, the addendum Clobby's quick bits video, the kind of the cleanup video will come out tomorrow to talk about the ones I didn't choose from 50 years ago, 1971. My spinner rack is actually a TARDIS, as you can see. And I'm going back to 1971, and I'm going to take, it's like you walk into my comic shop, then you pick your comics. You have a pull list, except it's just the only difference from today's experience is comics are good. So I know that's a weird concept, but I'm going to tell you. Eric K., what's up, buddy? D. Bud Martin. All right, Dad, man.
Avon lives.
Later. Avon lives, and long live the Legion. I want to say hello to my fantastic guests here tonight, my friends, because I've been wanting to do this there's certain topics, certain things I love to talk about that I don't. Yeah, I'll do it alone sometimes, but sometimes you want someone to bounce off of, and I didn't know that there was anyone that wanted to talk about this. Now I know we do geek stuff here. This is sort of geek. I mean, I geek out about football, and I love it, and but I didn't know how many people.
It's like
want to
Geek
put up
Jock.
With
It's like
it.
Geek
It
Jock.
Geek Jock.
It has bright colors. It has violence and action. It's just like a comic book.
Costumes,
And,
yep.
Drama.
Suspense.
The
Masks.
Edge of your seat.
Yeah. And I just always been, I mean, other than my geekness, the one thing I've loved is pro football, especially pro football history. Now, since football is history to me, all I have left is to talk a little about some of the good old days. And I'm going to do that tonight with some wonderful gentlemen here. Of course, the great Stone Loki, buddy.
Well,
Thanks for being here, bro.
That's exactly how Clobberin brought this to me. He was like, "Hey, Loki, I heard you talking about, some of the greats the other day. Would you want to talk football?" I said, "Fuck no. We don't want to talk about football." Before he goes, no, like Montana and the Fridge and Walter Payton. And I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah. Let's talk some. That's football. All right, let's talk some
Back when football was football.
Right? Not tag football.
Smash mouth, gridiron, fighting in the trenches, football. Okay, I'm down.
Yes. Although this night we will be spanning the entirety of the 100 years of the history of the NFL in a sense. Yes, but there are many other, because right now my fix for football is, like I said, I watch NFL Top 10 on YouTube. I watch old NFL films. The frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, the great voice, John Vicenda, who would say things like, there are 28 teams, there are 27 teams in the National Football League, and then there are the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that wonderful, I constantly listen to the NFL films music by Sam Spence. Just Steve Sable was a genius. He turned the NFL, films into an art form, and it was just fantastic.
They used to get so excited too. It'd be like, Montana back to pass. He drops deep. He throws a Hail Mary pass. And they'd get so excited, man. They'd be into it. They'd be like getting into it and cheering just like fans were at home.
It was so much excitement. Yeah.
Football wasn't the number one sport too. Don't forget. So that NFL Films had a big part in making that sport grow and reaching people. And
NFL Films put it on
you call it fan service, but it's a good fan service. I mean, they did a great job, and baseball's not the number one sport anymore viewership wise. So I think football still, and basketball ratings are tanking. Well, we don't want to get into the other side of it, but I'm just saying football still has millions and millions of viewers, and there's a reason for that, even though it's diminished in a few years. But I guess Eric K doesn't like the Giants I'm seeing, so he's saying he likes the quarterback.
He's a Raiders fan. All we have to do is say one thing to pick on him. Las Vegas. Sorry, man.
We love Eric K, but yeah.
Gambling with my football teams. That's what that is.
They can gamble everywhere now, right?
That was quite, I will say this as a sideline, that was quite the opening night that the Raiders showed.
Yeah, well, again, I'm out. So I get forced to the local games for the Saints because it's a family thing I can't get out of, and I'm nephews. I love them, by the way, and I wouldn't want to anyway because I get to go see my wonderful nephews and hang out with them and stuff like that. And it's a family thing. But what's happened to me with the NFL? There was a time up until last year when all this happened, without getting specific, that my heart was so much into it that the slightest thing got me excited. I could not watch a Saints game. I loved watching all of the NFL and following it, of course, and staying really up on it. But when I'm watching a Saints game, a first down sent me through the roof. It didn't take much. Any slightly good thing that would happen, I was that nuts for it. And to sit in front of that TV for 3.5 hours with my nephews and their friends on Sundays for the away games, and now, of course, because of other reasons, now all the games are pretty much away games now because no one can go to the stadiums. Because of the hurricane, the Saints had to play their opener this year in Jacksonville, even though it was against the Packers. Sorry. And sorry, Packers fans. But anyway,
dude, they had one of the greatest hitters in Nitschke, man. The Vince Lombardi era. You say what you will about the Packers, but that era, whoo.
My thing about that is, it's difficult for me to communicate how much this game meant to me, how much my team meant to me, and now I've tested myself a few times since last year when I made the commitment, which I didn't. Going into it, I said, "There's no way I'm going to stick to it. I know I'm going to crumble like a cracker when the season starts." Then a certain thing happened that I won't talk about by a certain player who broke my heart. Who was a hero to me on that team last year, and it became to a point where I go. I could look at it all day. I could sit there for 3 hours in front of it and not care and have it no effect on me. After 50 years, I can't even explain to you how disturbing that is to me. And so I thought, what would happen if I watched it again this year? I went anyway. I went to the gathering and I sat there and watched a lot of it. They blew the Packers the door. They never win on opening day. And certainly without Drew Brees, and yet Jameis Winston, I'm sorry, folks, he's still Jameis Winston, had a hell of almost a record-breaking game through 5 touchdowns. They blew out the Packers, and I didn't care. It usually, one of two things happen. When they lose, it ruins my week. When they would win, it would make my week, no matter what's going on in my life. Now, I feel nothing. That's why we're doing this tonight, talking about something I care about, the old school stuff. $2, $1.99 super chat. Clobby no longer has a team either in the NFL. That's right, buddy. Thank you, Eric K. It's gone. I can sit there and watch one all day long and not feel anything. And I believe black and gold or did. So,
also, stop watching too.
Just as a quick sideline, Pat S. No, we're not going to talk about Doug Flutie or the Rough Riders. No CFL talk here. This is real football. We're talking NFL. None of that soccer stuff over in Europe either.
Aren't you from a country to our north?
Well, yeah, but look, one thing you got to respect about the CFL, they had Warren Moon, and so. But
well, that's one player.
Flutie was
Actually, I went to university with a lot of players that played in the CFL and the NFL, so I have to give some of those boys a shout out because they work really, really hard to get to where they are. So salute the Canadian players playing in the NFL and the CFL.
Of course, and that brings me to our next great guest, Mr. Lord Thoth, buddy.
Oh, hey.
Thanks for being here with us.
I can't wait to talk about some football. We're talking blood, sweat, tears, concussions, and pain. That's the real football that we miss in this days. Coddling quarterbacks and calling penalties that are if someone sneezes on someone.
Yep.
It's
their
ridiculous
feelings.
what we see out there. We're talking, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, real football.
Real deal stuff. Absolutely. My great.
And thanks for inviting me.
Dude, anytime, man. I'm glad to have you. I didn't even know you had an interest in this sort of thing, but now I'm glad that I know it. And same with you, Nicholas. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know who's going to be interested in something like this. But
I love sports. If you ever want to do a hockey one, I can talk all night. But I love football too. I've always have, and grew up with watching the Steelers and the Raiders and a lot of the great old teams. And that's why I'm here. I love football. NFL is a real man sport.
Yes.
Well, I do love it. I love the game, and I love so much about it. And I tell you what, I also love our next guest, the great Nick Weiser, as in 32 Flavors. Buddy, thank you for being here, man.
Oh, dude, it's a pleasure. I know this is something that I feel like you and I find out we're both into old NFL. Like the fact that happened. Like I can't remember what conversation alluded to it. I don't remember what, but the fact that we found out, oh, hey, we got to do this sometime, whenever, however. I know we've talked about it for a few months, and I'm happy to be here to talk about football. Like, as I said before before we got on here, like, I was always really, like, into the linebackers, but I do have my fair share of respect for the quarterbacks because they are the essential ingredient for winning the game, at the end of the day. I was so blown away, like, being a kid watching these games. Like, I never really paid attention to, like, stats. I was always paying attention to the savagery and the conviction of these players. And, like, when I got exposed to, like, the Nitschkes of the world, I was just like, and once again, like, my dad, huge Bears fan, but he always respected the Vince Lombardi era of the Packers. He found them, like, the one exceptional Packers era. And I get it. Why? I mean, that was a hard-ass working team, man. And, of course, you and I, we all know that the Bears and their issues with a lack their quarterback, maybe that's what made me contribute to not paying as much attention to quarterback, because I had to, like, concede to myself that we're always sucking as far as QBs goes. So if I just stay looking at the defense, I'll be happy here because I can watch these guys destroy others on the field.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
It's awesome to be on here, though. Like it's gonna be a nice change of pace, and I'm actually happy to see. I see we got Catman, D.D. Myers, Turk Longwell, D-Bud. It's going to be hell yeah.
D-Bud, well, good to see you all here. Thank you for being here. And we have, of course, last but not least, a Giants fan, but we'll let it slide. Jim,
how could you tell? How could you tell? Yeah. Well, the crazy thing growing up, my dad was an immigrant and didn't care about any, this, football was soccer to him. So he didn't care about all these American sports, and he'd rather play sports. So my team during the 70s was actually the Cowboys, because you're a kid, and you watch, you latch on to the most popular teams. Like, my brother-in-laws are Dolphins fans, even, out of I think the NFL more than any other sport probably has, team, fans from outside their region, maybe you want to say. So I grew up, some of those great, Dallas teams with Staubach, watching those guys play. That was awesome. And then, being in the New York area, you start watching the Giants, and, the Giants had those great teams in the 80s with that, with LT and the great defense and Phil Simms and some, I think he was a great quarterback. And, so you just love watching football. And, not like you, I'm like you, Club. I haven't really watched much lately. It was just kind of depressing to see what was happening. I think the sports leagues are maybe realizing that a little bit now, but we'll see how that goes. But that's why it's great to be here to celebrate all those great old timers and look at that old footage and just enjoy watching all those great accomplishments. And, football, we're all comic book fans and geeks and nerds here, but, there's a lot of sports ball fans in our crowd too, I can see, which is great. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Thanks for having me.
Loki, damn, 15-yard penalty on Loki.
That's a clipping penalty there. That's clipping.
That Saints game right there. The Saints led 35. That was whatever garbage year when we went 1-15 and 81. That was they went 30. It was 35-7 at the half. And Montana, that's the out game for Montana. The game.
That's the catch.
That's the big. No, yeah, that was a different one there. But yeah, that game though was a mid-season game. That's the one where he established himself against, of course. Well, there are a lot of people that established themselves against my garbage Saints in the 70s. We have the distinction of bringing Montana to the forefront with that game. We're also the team that broke the Bucks. It was expansion Bucks 27-game losing streak, or 26 games. It was going to be 27, but they went to the Superdome.
That's funny.
So, yeah, it's brutal, but yeah, I like that. You got all those highlights and lowlights to me, but because I hated Montana, I hated Montana so much.
Dude, I loved him. He was the guy no one saw coming.
He beat us twice a year. I hated his guts, man.
Except for his coach in college. The coach he got a brand new coach his sophomore year, and his coach went home when he was playing for Notre Dame. The coach went home to his wife and said, "Look, I've got this guy. I'm going to start him this year. He's going to feed our family for the next 3 years." He knew. He just knew.
The catch. Now, I have a question for you all on the catch. Was he real? I mean, people accuse Montana of throwing the football away, but that was a design play. But a lot of people accuse him of throwing the ball away right there. Clark would have to go pretty high, but it was just a percentage pass. But he's accused of saying, "Oh, you were throwing it away." No. I hate him, and I admit that.
I don't think he was throwing that ball away.
No,
I think that was a play that they had set up, and he just threw it and hoped, and it was caught. Boom.
Did you know that Dallas actually really should have won that game on a technicality, because Montana when he took the victory, that last snap, walked off the field without downing it. Technically should have been Dallas ball. That's
semantics.
Dallas had a chance. They had the ball after that play.
That's
the
true.
Replay flag.
Yeah. But anyway, well, our topic tonight, ladies and gerbils, if we have any ladies who like football here, the Mount Rushmore of NFL quarterbacks for all 32 teams. This is a video we found. And I found, and it basically they picked their 4 best of each team in franchise history. But what I'm going to do a little bit, I'll approve of the ones that they do a good job on. We're going to argue with the ones they don't, or we're going to get opinions from everyone about that. But some teams, if you don't have one great quarterback on there, at least you don't get a Mount Rushmore. I'm revoking it on this show. I'm going to say
there's a few teams like that.
There are a couple of teams, but if you got one Hall of Famer, that's enough. If you got 3 or 4 really good quarterbacks, I'm gonna allow it. I'm gonna be a nice guy tonight, folks. If you are absolute poo-poo, though, you could lose these teams could lose their Mount Rushmore tonight from Clobberin.
A couple of them do. A couple of them do need to.
Yeah, they do. But if you got at least one Hall of Famer, that's good enough. So I'm going to put this. I'm not going to show the whole video. Necessarily, we're just going to show like little chunks of it. I guess we'll be okay. I mean, what's the worst they can do? Strike the video?
Well, the video is it's a YouTube video anyway, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and they don't own the NFL. So we're going to start in alphabetical order, folks. And this can't remember the. All right. Let me stop. I'm going to stop it on the Mount Rushmore thingy.
Yeah.
I can't control this thing. There we go. All right. The Arizona Cardinals, folks. For those who don't know, all right, pause, dummy. There we go. I got it now. For those who don't know, the Arizona Cardinals have been around almost 100 years. They started out with what were they? The Chicago. They were the Chicago Cardinals. Before that, they had a different name before that even. In 1926. They were defeated by the championship was won by the Pottsville what was it, the Pottsville Maroons or something like that, and because of the Pottsville breaking some kind of a regulation, it was given to the Cardinals. The championship was unrightfully given to the Cardinals. It's the only time they've ever gotten a championship, and some say that Pottsville curse is why they'll never win another championship. They won't. because they're the Cardinals. Sorry, Cardinals fans, but they've got 4 here. All right, you got to leave them on there because they've got Jim Hart. For those who don't know, was a very good quarterback. Kurt Warner got him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Warner's a good QB.
Yeah, I agree with that. Warner was a good QB.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he got him to a Super Bowl. He was as an old man.
Yeah.
And Carson Palmer did a decent job keeping him competitive. My beef with this one is Kyler Murray. Look, he's a fine young quarterback. He's been in the league 2 years now, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Should you be on any route Mount Rushmore if you've been in the league 2-3 years? What do you guys?
No.
Hey, I agree to that, but that just shows you once again this Mount Rushmore thing. They needed to do all as many of the teams as possible to include guys like Kyler Murray. Like this is the inclusive version of a Mount Rushmore of list. This is not. We gotta nail it down to the nitty gritty. This is a inclusion version of a list. That's not to say there are guys on here who aren't talented in their own respective rights, but that's the inclusion version of it, where it's broken down team by team. Now, to be fair, there are some teams who've had a historically great, era of many quarterbacks, unlike the Bears. And
the Bears.
Yeah. the Bears. No, that's the Bulls. No, it's the inclusion version. That's how guys like Kylie Murray would, I'm already forgetting his name, make it, because that's how this list is. It's the inclusion version list.
Yeah, because what are you going to pick, Jake Plummer or Neil Lomax? I mean, there's only really 3 decent Cardinal QBs.
Yeah.
So, well, Jake Plummer was better than him. I mean, did more.
Yeah,
than that guy
but I'm just saying they didn't pick him. So I mean, that's but he's not a Hall.
Was all right.
He's a losing. Yeah, but he's got a losing record, and he's not someone you're going to say is maybe he's a average quarterback, but he's not a Mount Rushmore guy.
No, he's not.
So that's the problem. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, when you don't have enough.
Maybe we should create small Mount Rushmores without 4. Then I don't know.
Well, I would vote for 3 in that one.
Yeah, you want to vote? What do you think? What about it, Loki? You think we should make a 3-headed Rushmore if somebody doesn't deserve to be on there?
Yes, absolutely. Later, you're gonna see a tale of the tape in Dallas that actually has Tony fucking Romo on it. They can suck it on. No.
I got a lot to say about that one.
No. I'll take Danny fucking White over Tony Romo.
Are we skipping ahead here already? We're skipping ahead.
I don't know. We're getting
to Loki's feeling this.
Passion leaks through. I appreciate that.
Thoughts? What do you think? I mean, can we chop a head off, or just want to go loud? I mean, the kid's okay. I have nothing against him. But he just started.
No.
He might be there in 10 years. We'll see.
He might be.
Oh,
yeah. He's got to pay his dues, just like everybody else. You got to pay your dues. You got the blood, sweat, and tears have to soak into your uniform. And the Cardinals have the red uniform, but yeah. He's got to pay his dues. I chopped that one off.
Yeah,
if some kid came out of nowhere, let's say number 1 QB gets taken out first thing preseason, and some kid steps in. And I mean, he kicks ass all year. Then he deserves to be there.
He's got to go to the Super Bowl. He's got to win the MVP. He's got to
win championships. He needs rings on his finger. Put a ring on it, dude.
He's
got a ring on that finger that first year. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Phenomenal
Mahomes,
that first year.
Mahomes, but some of these other kids.
You know that the team is pretty desperate to find 4 top quarterbacks when they pick that one.
Yeah.
You're desperate.
Turk Longwell's got a nice point too. He says, Kurt was the best grocery guy to SB winner, and he just mentioned he just subbed to the channel. So welcome,
Thank you,
Turk. Good to have you. Yep.
Hey, welcome aboard.
Hey, I almost skipped the Falcons because screw the Falcons. I hate their guts. when I was the Falcons, when I was a Saints freak.
Does anybody outside of Atlanta like the Falcons?
No, but no. New Orleans Saints fans hate them with the passion that, let's say, Giants and Eagles fans hate each other, for example. It's serious.
Steve Barkowski was a good quarterback.
He's here.
Yeah,
this is actually a good Mount Rushmore.
That's not bad. Michael Vick, I'd give him that. He played a couple of really good years, pretty grinding years. I have a lot of of respect for him, even though his outside the uniform kind of activities were bad.
Woo! Doggone it.
Unlike the guy who decided to make the trend setting of kneeling, Michael Vick was a much better player on line side, and that is why he got hired. It was never a race issue. It's just that Vick is a drastically superb player to a Kaepernick, is because Vick actually played. As much as I can't stand the guy, he's got talent.
Yeah. Well, by the way, everyone, they're not putting these in any particular order because some of the otherwise I'd really be crazy. They're just, I don't know what kind of thing order they're using. It's weird, but and not even in chronological order. Some of these ones they've done, it's kind of slapdash. Nothing against the site, TPS they're called. They're probably fine people. Matt Ryan, look, I've had a lot. I've had to defend. I hate the Falcons, and I've had to defend Matt Ryan to some people. The guy has made them a winner. Okay, they blew a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl, but that really wasn't entirely Ryan's fault. He belongs on here. Vic, as you said, Barkowski was underrated, who just happened to play, other than the Grits Blitz, great defense they had. He never really, I mean, he was playing in an era. Look, when you played in the 70s and you weren't the Cowboys, Steelers, Dolphins, Raiders, and even a few other teams, that's just too bad.
But I agree with Eric K. Matt Ryan is way super overrated. I think his team got him where he got to. I don't think Matt Ryan was a great quarterback.
No, I don't think he was a great quarterback. I think he was a serviceable starter for a team that, I mean, he had Julio Jones and he had he had some great receivers and some.
No, he's a second stringer too. I think he's a second stringer.
But they didn't have anybody better on the roster for him, I think so.
I just think he had a solid team. That's all. I think that he had a solid team around him, and that can take you a long way.
True, but you get down a rabbit hole when you do that because you could do that to every. So you could do it to Montana then because he had Jerry Rice. And
I knew you were going to mention Montana.
I'm just saying, I love Montana and I hate him at the same time. You can do that to any quarterback if they had a great cast. You can go, well, he was great, but look what he had to work with. I mean, we all do it. But Ryan's no Montana. I didn't mean to mention him in there. But I mean, for the Falcons, I can see him being on here.
Yeah, now, that's exactly the list for the Falcons.
Right. Now, Chris Chandelier here. Chris Chandelier, as I called him, who would crumble like a chandelier every time he got hit, was a pretty good passer.
Okay. I actually I was not familiar with him.
No, he had a strong arm. He had a really strong arm.
Yeah, and he was a journeyman, but with the help of Steve DeBerg that year, he got him to a Super Bowl that they didn't deserve to be in. Sorry, but the Vikings, Gary Anderson missing a field goal is the only thing that got them there.
Yep.
Okay, let's see who's next.
Get through the crappy teams first, right?
Oh, well, they're in alphabetical, so they're going
to, Dallas should be last, right?
No, they're out. Well, like I said, I didn't make the thing. They're alphabetical. So, let's see. Oh, by the way, did I mention, screw the Falcons? Did I?
No.
Is that your going Falcons? We have a saying. Fuck the Falcons. That's all.
F the Falcons. Everybody in the chat put F for Falcons. Yeah.
I may have to take this Mount Rushmore away. This might be the first. I might have to revoke this one.
I don't even know who these guys are. I feel like that moment
won a Super Bowl.
Clobberin. It's that moment where Wanda in Endgame, she's like, you took everything from me. And I'm looking at these players, I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
Flacco's defense won that Super Bowl.
There you go. That's the defense I was talking about.
Flacco's defense won the Super Bowl that year.
But agreed, the NFC Championship game in Denver the 2 weeks before, he actually did play very well. I mean, he did a pretty good job in the playoffs that year. However,
he had a horseshoe up his ass.
He did. It was in Denver though. But, no, look, I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. We might have to revoke this one because Flacco was kind of. Lamar Jackson just started. He's really talented, but come on, Trent Duffer. That's one. You talk about a defense winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You talk about a defense winning the Super Bowl. Granted, that defense had to play they were in the NFC Central, so they had to play the Bengals twice and the Browns twice. Yeah, but
Wow, that sounds like a tough. That sounds like a tough string of teams.
Well, in the NFL Top 10 show when they did the Raven Top 10 defenses, They put Ravens in like number 8 or 7 or 8, and they were all whining about it. Like, what do you have to do? The 2000 Ravens. And then they showed a list of all the quarterbacks they played against.
And then there was crickets.
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, they were good now. They were good. And then, of course, Kyle Bowler. All right, Baltimore Ravens fans, no offense. I am revoking.
Yeah, how is he on the list?
How's that? Well, look who they got.
Yeah, but you also have to consider the Ravens are only, 15 years old? When did they
we're not trying to be mean.
Still better than the Bears.
Bears.
No Mount Rushmore for you, Baltimore Ravens.
That's it.
So sorry.
No soup for you.
Well, we'll see what happens in a few years with Lamar Jackson, but yeah.
I have a real
He's got a lot of potential, actually.
He's got potential, yeah. So, but he's too young.
Oh, the Buffalo Bills.
I have a problem with this one here.
What, that they're an actual NFL team?
Hey, remember do you remember on the X-Files when the cigarette smoking man said, as long as I'm running things here, the Buffalo Bills will never win a Super Bowl. But
yup.
All right, Jim Kelly absolutely belongs. He's a Hall of Famer.
Giants didn't beat him fair and square.
Jim Kelly belongs on on that
Machine Gun Kelly.
He's a Hall of Famer. Yep.
And God bless him. He's fighting cancer now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so God bless him. Hope he's. Yeah.
Wow, did they ever get desperate for this list?
Well, yeah. I mean, they only have so much to work with each team. Joe Ferguson was a really good quarterback in the 70s, and 80s. He just didn't have a good team around him. He handed the ball off to OJ, you know who a lot. All right, Josh Allen's been in the league 2 years. Come on, people. He's a
nope. Yeah,
he's a good. Nope. And Fitzpatrick.
It's not.
If you didn't have a Hall of Famer on this list, I would be revoking it.
Yeah, as you should.
On this mountain.
At this point, it's like this is not Mount Rushmore anymore. This is just players that we recognize per team.
And I'll say Ryan Fitzpatrick, what a waste of potential that kid had. When he was coming up through college and stuff, he played some amazing games. I've seen a couple of his college football games, and it was just, I'm like, oh, this kid, and coming from the eastern part of Canada, Buffalo is a big part of Canadian football history too, because a lot of Torontonians, a lot of Ontarioians there. Buffalo is the football team that we kind of latched onto because it's right across the border. But yeah, oh boy, it was wasted potential.
Agree. Yeah. What about Jack Kemp on the Buffalo list?
Thank
Pro
you.
Bowl, 6 Pro Bowls.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Dude, why is he not on that list? And I forgot about it. God damn it.
That's okay.
Shout out to Aaron K for that one. Yeah.
They do that multiple times in this little thing is they forget people.
Maybe because he was a Republican.
He's got well, it could be, but look, I wrote him down. It was the first thing that made me scream when I saw this thing a couple months ago, and I forgot it. Thank you, Mark D, and thank you whoever.
The next guys in the chat, yeah.
Do you know what? As soon as you mentioned that, Mark D, I went, yeah. Wait a minute, where's Jack Kemp?
I hate my memory. It sucks.
Winning record.
Jack Kemp. Winning record. He played in the old AFL. That means he could.
Is he in the Super Bowl or is he in the Hall of Fame yet? I don't think he is he?
No, he's not. But still, he played in the AFL. You had to throw the football.
He's one of those ones who should be.
The Care Vagina Pansies.
What did you say? Care?
Is this Toxic Tuesday?
They were in our division, and I hate them. Not as much as the Falcons, but I hate them. I'm going to be fair here, though.
All right, so we had Jack Kemp. We agree we had Jack Kemp.
So there's 31 teams you hate, Bobby?
No. Only
they're all top teners.
Only 3 or 4. And you didn't. All right, they've been to 2 Super Bowls. 2 of these guys did. I'm going to allow them to keep their Mount Rushmore. Cam Newton sucks, but he had a few decent years, and then he crumbled like a cracker in the Super Bowl because he's an idiot. I love Jake Delhomme because he's from here. It's a prejudice I admit. I hated to have to root for the Panthers in that Super Bowl, but he did a pretty good job.
Well, look who they faced. How could you not root for them in that Super Bowl?
And he almost beat them.
Yep.
Close game. Kerry Collins, he did a decent job in the early years for the Panthers, and Steve Berline was a journeyman, but he played pretty well there. But you guys when you got to 2 Super Bowls, you get to keep your stinking Mount Rushmore. We got to be fair, don't we? Not really, but we do. We'll try to. We'll give the appearance of fairness here.
I will say this: that the year that one of my worst fantasy football years ever, I had Cam Newton as my quarterback. So that's just leave it at that.
Yeah, Cam, what a world-class talent and a pea for a brain as a quarterback. Okay, sorry, Nick. Here we go. Good news is, Nick.
I think we need to toss this one. That's a terrible team.
Nah, you got a Hall of Famer. You get to keep it.
We do. I mean, Luckman's not
Jay
bad,
Cutler?
but I hate that Cutler is in here because he's as bad as McNown. He's as bad as Grossman. And Cutler had blown so many games. There were times where the Patriots were actually doing good, and then Cutler would just drop the ball, literally.
Everybody in the chats, I think, agreed with us, Flava Flavs. I looked at that and I went, "Hey, Cutler."
He's got all the records, though. Look, Sid Luckman's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Harbaugh, I don't really get.
Harbaugh. Wow. That was a hard-nosed, a hard-ass man, Jim Harbaugh.
He was. He played well, but I mean, just, and look, Jim McMahon was another, made of glass dude, but he got the Super Bowl.
To be fair with McMahon, I mean, he's talented, but he's on here just because the team got to the bowl. That's the only reason why he's on here.
That's why.
Because if you took the bowl out of the equation, I respect McMahon, but he's only on here because of 85-86.
His personality, Super Bowl shuffle.
And Loki, there you go with your fridge and your sweetness right there. That's the reason you got that Super Bowl.
That's right. That damn straight. Gotta love the fridge, man. Just hand
William Berry.
Everything.
Yes.
What a guy.
I actually,
he was so good he had Indiana Jones in his fridge.
I loved the Bears that year until they did the Super Bowl shuffle. Then I rooted for New England in that garbage Super Bowl.
I'm reading about Sid Luckman. I mean, what a career that guy had. I mean, think about the era they played. So he played from 39 to 50. He threw for almost 15,000 yards, 137 touchdowns.
When no one was throwing the football.
Yeah, and he won 3 All-Star teams, 6 All-Pro teams, led the league in passing yards and touchdowns. And then they won. That's amazing.
Cigarette out of his mouth. Someone needs to knock that fucking cigarette out of his mouth.
And you know what?
An actual football player needs to knock that cigarette out. An actual football player.
Yeah. And Luckman, he was enlisted in the Merchant Marine during the war. So, he only played on Sunday. So you can imagine that for 4 years. You couldn't practice with the team, and he just played on Sundays.
And that shuffle gets an honorary spot on Mount Rushmore because let me tell you, in the 80s, it was. I'm trying to remember when it came out, like 82 or something.
Was the team.
85. I'm telling you, it was everywhere. It was international fame, and it was one of those earworms, right? You hear it and you're like, please stop, please stop. You throw your Walkman against the wall because you don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Now, see, I gotta admit, I'm not a big fan of the Bungles, but this is actually a decent one. Ken Anderson belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Absolutely, dude. That guy. The only thing, he didn't beat. I know he didn't beat Montana in that Super Bowl, but if he had, he'd be in there because this guy. I mean, the yards the dude racked up. People, if you listen to a lot of people who talk about who were watching the game at the time, I was kind of young, but I was watching them. Ken Anderson was Montana before Montana because that offense that he was running was created by Bill Walsh for Paul Brown's Bengals.
Yes,
and before Paul Brown thought Bill Walsh was crazy, so he sent him packing. If he'd have kept him, or if Cincinnati had kept him when Paul Brown left, they would have the Super Bowl rings that the 49ers have.
But I don't think he has the numbers, right? Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Wow, this is a deep cut. But he doesn't have the championship numbers. I'm talking like the.
No, you don't have the ring. No, but I mean, there's some guys without rings that are in the bowl, and he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Politics. It's politics.
Boomer was a good football player for a while, huh?
Yeah, well, I was just saying, led the NFL in completion percentage 3 times, yards twice, and passer rating 4 times. So he was. You're right. Larry Delta just didn't get it. Didn't get it done in the Super Bowl. So that hurts his ranking.
Boomer was a pretty good player for a while. Got him to a Super Bowl. Yep. Carson Palmer was a pretty good quarterback, decent at least, and Andy Dalton.
Hashtag save gingers.
Yeah,
right. Gingers.
He was a really good regular season quarterback.
I hear in the movie they're going to race swap him.
The Red Rocket movie? How are they going to call it the Red Rocket then?
They're going to call it the Diverse Rocket.
Yeah, I was going to say color neutral. Maybe.
Boom! Right there. There's my boy.
Yeah.
There's
a good.
Okay,
right
Otto Graham is.
This is a great one right here.
A fierce player.
Yeah,
this is one of the best of these.
Yes, people could laugh and say what they will about what the uniform and the helmets look like at the Browns, but there is a great lap here of guys that people forget about, and a lot of them forgot about. Even people I know who've been in the NFL much longer. I mean, I'm like, did you just forget about the Graham bro? What the hell?
Oh, he was fantastic. This guy made it to the championship, whether he was in the All-American League before that, then when he went into the NFL, like 10 straight times, won 7 of them. No one's ever going to do that again except for some guy in the sissy era that we don't know about, whose initials are TB. But Frank Ryan won a championship for the Browns after Graham. Brian Sipe was an MVP. I mean, he just couldn't quite get over the hump in the 70s. He was a top-notch quarterback for a little skinny dude, and I love Bernie Kosar. I just love the guy. He was a fighter, man. Bernie got him to a couple of championship games, and neither one of those losses were his fault. So,
and don't forget he played basketball too, so he won championships in the National Basketball League, Rochester Royals. I'm just reading, so he's one of just 2 people who've won titles in 2 of the major 4 American professional sports. So, talk about being all around, right? Before Bo Jackson, yep.
and it's funny how now the Browns are just absolute.
Look at that. He's telegraphing it.
Brian Sipe.
Browns have become the biggest parody ever. It's funny because if you don't know your deep dive of NFL, you could swore it's kind of like the movie Major League, where the Indians have been bad for a long time. That's what a lot of people think of the Browns in modern day is. The Browns have just been terrible forever. It's like, well, once upon a time,
Absolutely, man. Here's what Loki's been looking forward to.
There's no reason Dak or Romo should be on this list at all. Okay, people like Romo, but you know what? You can like Romo all you want to. He never got it done.
What has he won? What did he ever win?
He didn't win anything.
One playoff
He didn't
game,
win
maybe?
anything.
Yep. I got my one player who doesn't win anything, but he's not on this list.
Nothing, not even playoff games. But I mean, look, Don Meredith and Danny White should be on there.
Ooh, I can see Danny White. Yeah,
where's Danny White? Garbage. Don took that team from garbage and started winning. Got them into the Ice Bowl. Got them into some. They didn't win, but he got them competitive. And then Danny White had to take over from Roger Staubach, and still won playoff games, kept them competitive, and was a good punter. Dak, what is he doing? And Romo, he's a stat monster. That's all. And he just never won anything.
3 really good seasons, you could say.
And you can blame that on Wade Phillips. You can blame that on Garrett. Both of those coaches, I cannot stand either. I cannot stand either one of them. I can't stand Phillips. I can't stand Garrett. But Romo just when it came to putting his feet down and winning the game, he was not there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Boy, blew those playoff games. I'm wearing my Cowboys hat that my roommate in college got me after I made a bet with him the Cowboys would lose. So he gave me this hat. So Chris, if you're out there wearing the hat that you gave me, we lost the Super Bowl bet.
Denver time.
Here we go.
Yes.
Let's have a conversation.
We can't talk about Elway. Apparently, look. Well,
yeah. They said you can't talk about Elway. What do you mean you can't fucking talk about Elway?
In fact, we should say it the way Dick Enberg used to say it. Oh my Elway! What can you say? The people like to rag on him for losing those first, those 3 Super Bowls that he played and lost, but he dragged that team there. That team had nobody. Name me one All-Pro other than on like Carl Mecklenburg or somebody like. Name me other great players on that offense.
Clobberin, I'm glad you mentioned that because not A, but B, Elway was good at carrying a team. There was not always a team
Carried
there
them.
a lot of the time, but he carried it. It's not just the fact that like the Broncos end up winning 2 back-to-back championships with Super Bowl 32-30. It was pretty much a John Elway victory is what happened. It was the John Elway win. It's not even close.
You know, it's funny you got your super chat right there. Eli beat the GOAT. I always loved, because I never liked Peyton, I always loved the fact that Eli beat him before Peyton did. I always loved that. Like, your little brother can get it done, buddy, but your bitch ass can't.
Well, he did. Well, they were in the same conference, both he and Brady, and he did beat Brady to go to the Super Bowl before Eli beat him into Super Bowls, but nevertheless, Brady beat him most of the time. There's no question about it. But Elway, Eli, he did. He took it away from Elway. I mean, from. By the way, RC from the NC. What's up, Clobberin? What's up, panel? What's up, Chad? First time stream watcher. Hope everyone is well and go Giants.
Thank you, RC. Yep, go Giants.
Yeah.
Go Giants.
Thank you, RC.
Hey, why is Tim Tebow not on this list? Just kidding.
Here's the thing about it.
I bet I wonder why. But
he doesn't belong.
It's totally some certain faith he has, you know.
Yeah, no,
none to see here, guys.
He was there for 2 years. For 1 year.
Elway carried the team to 3 Super Bowls by himself, then won 2 with some help. Peyton got him. He got him 2 of them, won 1 of them, even when he was not at his full strength. But that was a good defense. Still, he won. He still had a lot of big numbers. He had 1 year where he just had crazy numbers for them. Craig Morton was a steady quarterback for them. Got him to a Super Bowl. But Brian Greasy, you guys ran out of quarterbacks, didn't you?
And Eric K, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, to see Peyton up in the stands, watching little brother beat Tom, that was gold to me.
I agree.
Freaking gold to me. Having him having to watch little brother beat him.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Loki, that was awesome.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I mean, but Brian Greasy, look, your pappy's in the Hall of Fame, dude, not you. But I guess I see they want to fill the thing up so bad. Oh, now I'm starting to feel bad for our buddy Vigilante Williamson.
No, besides the Browns, then there's the Lions. The first team, might I add, that went 0-16 to my knowledge. Am I wrong? The first team ever to go 0-16?
They are.
They're the first. Oh my God! I'm sorry,
as a quick side note here for the Detroit Lions, I have a lot of family in Detroit, and at my wedding, at our reception, I actually said, "The Detroit Lions sucks," to all the family that had come up for the wedding. I don't think I endeared myself to that side of the family that day. Of course, I bought them free drinks afterwards, so they were happy.
I'm sure they were very all redeemed after saying
in 1958, after winning a championship for the Lions, Bobby Lane got traded to the Steelers, and he was not happy about it. So he said, "You guys aren't going to win here for 50 years." He got the number wrong. It should have been closer to 60 because, you could see him being on there, so they get to keep their Mount Rushmore. Matthew Stafford, kept them competitive over the past few years for the most part. I mean, now he's in with the Rams. But I'm sorry, no Mount Rushmore should have Scott Mitchell on it. Greg Landry, okay. Yeah, he was decent. He was competitive in the 70s, but Scott freaking Mitchell.
Who's Scott Mitchell?
Actually, I don't know. Actually,
I'll tell you who Scott Mitchell.
Never heard of him.
When Dan Marino broke his damn whatever ACL, whatever in 1993ish or something like that.
Yeah,
he came in and had a few good games, and he was a left-handed quarterback, big kid. So the Detroit idiots, aka Lions, opened up the piggy bank and to sign him for the next year. And the next year, so he did get the Lions to a playoff game. They did, but he had Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
And he had Herman Moore, and then and some good receivers. But then, oh boy, he just became kind of a joke. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't win anymore. And I think he was the one that brought him to that playoff game where the Eagles whacked him like 45 to something. And it was So Scott Mitchell. If you guys didn't have a Hall of Fame runner, I would revoke this one from you.
Well, you take him off the list, yeah. But I saw Barry Sanders play once against the Jets. It's just unbelievable how I know this is about QBs, but watching a man among boys playing him was just unbelievable how great he was.
I got to watch him in the Superdome one time, held at 20 yards by our wonderful dome patrol, but we had a great defense back then. And that was in a dome where he excelled. So but look, there's Scott Mitchell. Oh, God. Greg Landy was at least decent. Now this might be one of the best ones here, even if you don't like
it is a good one. It is. I mean, once again, we can all have our opinions on the Packers, but this is an actual proper Mount Rushmore. I mean, these guys are all talented at the very
champions.
least. At the very all of them.
All Hall of Famers. And one would be.
Favre, he needed to make up his mind at times, but once again, credit where it was due. Like, the guy at the end of the day got the job done, even though he lost to Elway. But no, conversation for another day. He still made up for it and then some in spades in many other ways.
You know how much money I won on that fucking game because they said Brett Barbara, which they used to make fun of him, like, you're gonna bet on Brett Barbara. All right.
Favor.
Money
just
I won on that fucking
just
game.
In case the Iris is listening, Loki did pay all his taxes. Just so we.
Yeah, look, Fabby's also the interception king.
Yep.
But I'll tell you what, he threw away. I mean, threw 3 chances, 3 different times to go to the Super Bowl. But there's one time I'm going to tell you this. I believe it or not, back when I still loved my Saints in 2009 when we were having that awesome year, we absolutely blew the doors off the Cardinals in the divisional playoff round. Then in the NFC Championship game, we played like absolute dog shit against Favre and the Vikings, and we were losing. Should have lost the game. In fact, but I remember at the beginning of the year when he was traded when he left to the Vikings, I was saying to myself, I don't know why. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. It happened. I'm going, I don't know why, but has a good feel to it. That's going to be good for us somehow. I don't know why. And then I remember, Favre was from Mississippi, from Louisiana. He grew up watching the Saints. Well, he decided, I can't beat Saints. Let me throw this game right back to him. And I'm admitting that my team got a gift from Favre that day because we turned the ball over 5 times. All he needed was to take a knee and go for a field goal, and then the game over, we lose. And they go to the Super Bowl. And thank you, Brett. I used to hate his guts and rag on him. I'm in his debt. We should put a statue out.
You too, huh?
A statue out there because he threw it right to Tracy Porter and said, hey, I don't think I want to go to the Super Bowl. Boom.
Yep. Here you go.
Right?
The gift that keeps on giving year after year.
We played great all year. It's just that one, when it came to it, played like dog shit, but got away with it. Yeah. I'll take it. Because, no team plays great all the time. And in the Super Bowl in the second half, we really kicked it up and played great, but did not belong there because of the way they played in that game. But I'll freaking take it any day.
And what's his face's helmet? Just the one piece? Man. That look has to be. There's no way that look would fly today with the helmet, with just the one piece basically around the chin, the skinny piece. Like nowadays, there's obviously the giant protective headgear.
And they got slaughtered playing back then too. Don't forget. So.
Oh yeah, right. And you got slaughtered by a guy who actually wanted to play.
Yeah.
All right. Now
this has got to go.
This one's going. We have
what the heck is this?
We're about to revoke a round.
Revoke.
Did we revoke one already? I can't remember.
Revoke times 2.
Well, I think we left one on or 1 or 2 players.
We revoked one, didn't we?
I don't think we. I think we.
I already forgot.
On the Bills, I think we only had 2 on the Bills or something.
No, the Bills were fine. Remember they had.
Well, this one we can because they're
this is garbage here.
Yeah, they're a terrible team that have been perennial terrible team, and they've only been around for a little while too. That's another one where you can kind of forgive them, but
sure.
None of those quarterbacks I'd want on my team.
Brian Hoyer, Matt Schaub. Deshaun Watson's, isn't he banged up and he's not even playing? He's going through a lawsuit or some crap.
There's another car on my team too.
He's in big trouble.
We're going to get to him, dude.
Yeah, we're going to. I'm sure he's on that list.
Dude.
That's awful.
As a damn near lifelong Houstonian, I would take Moon over Carr, and that's saying something.
Oh, they're still the Houston Oilers are just under the Titans because of
Yeah, did they consider any Houston Oilers in that?
It's the same franchise. They changed their name.
Yeah. Okay.
The Houston Oilers to the Texans. Yeah. You're right, Loki. I never even thought of that, but Moon should be there.
Yeah.
Oilers
fight song was great. Yep.
Dude.
Johnny U is the friggin' man, the granddaddy.
Yep.
No
Burt
arguments
Jones
on this
too
list,
was
right?
a pretty good quarterback.
Burt Jones was great. LSU boy. Burt Jones, dude.
Yeah.
He just made the mistake of playing in the era with the Steelers and the Cowboys and the Raiders and and the Dolphins and all those great teams. But Burt Jones was fantastic.
Yep,
Andrew
I agree.
Luck played well until he quit. I mean,
I'm sorry on this one. If anybody, people want to disagree with me, that's fine. I always felt like Peyton was a whiny little bitch. I never liked him. I never liked him. I never respected him as a quarterback. He could play wherever else, but I never liked him. I always thought he played like a little bitch. When the pressure came in, he folded like a fucking accordion.
Well, he had the misfortune of getting in those playoff games with not as much talent, he had some talent around him. I don't know. I'm a fan of him, but I hear you. I mean, he's from down here.
Well, he's a poor man's Tom Brady, right? He never matched up against Tom Brady. That was the thing. He was never as good, and he never had the team around
times,
him.
So.
Yeah, he beat him a few times, but let's look at the one. Let's look at the one lost.
Oh no, Brady's in the complete lead of that series
rivalry.
Yeah.
But but I don't know. I'm a Manning fan.
Yeah, but there's not many teams that if you pick, something like Chicago, hey, would you like to have Peyton Manning on your team? I mean, it's all. I see where Luke is coming from. It's all relative, right? I mean, he's one of the great, field generals, and
this is a good Mount Rushmore. This is a good Mount Rushmore.
This is an actual Rushmore. I mean, Peyton has his issues, but he's great. And Unitas, I mean, obviously he had a great throw, but the fact that he took a lot of brutal hits too along the way, just to he took a lot of hits, and
when you could hit, yeah.
Oh yeah, when you can actually hit in that area, I was like, man, and he survived a lot. The fact that he survived, just got back up and did it, I'm like, that would not happen at all to say. They'd be questioning Johnny, saying you need to retire. It would not happen, but he can dish out and he can take it, man. And oh man, this guy, didn't he have almost 300 yards passive touchdowns?
He had one other thing too. There was an NFL Network did that top 10 I was always telling you about. What did they do? They did top 10 NFL records that will never be broken.
Yeah,
it was at number 3, but it got broken. But no one thought it would. And what it was he threw 47 straight games with at least one touchdown pass.
Oh
that
my
stood for
God.
60 years till Drew Brees shattered it in 2012 for my Saints with 54. And people say, "Oh, is that really so big?" Before that, nobody even got close. Not Manning, not Brady. Brady eventually got there later, but nobody. People were getting far into the 30s and stuff. 47 in a time when nobody threw the football.
Yep. Yeah, it's a totally different era. I mean, too. I mean,
insane.
You had the Deacon Jones of the world smacking people around, and
It's like when they try and compare Emmitt Smith to Walter Payton. You just can't do that. It's a totally different fucking game.
It's not fair to them, yeah.
Well, it was a different game. Plus, Emmitt Smith had an offensive line that you and I could run behind. Payton Walter Payton for a lot of years played from some shit Bears teams before they got into they was there for a long time with some garbage teams. Pat S, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, buddy. Johnny Unitas should be an all team route. Yeah, he needs his own route.
He is a much more. Yeah, I agree. I can honestly say he's a good guy too. I had the privilege of talking when I was 12 years old. Man. The same day I met him and Butkus within minutes of each other.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Johnny,
I remember because they were on their way to their vendor table. They sat right next to each other, and I remember they both walked right by me. And 12-year-old Nick was just kind of look up in the sky, and I look, and there they both are walking. I'm like, guys, I think Dick Butkus and Unitas just passed me by. And sure enough, it was them. So
here we go again for another
revoke.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, let's skip ahead to the next team.
You shall not pass. Thou shall not pass.
You guys you guys are nice guys. I'm sure. I hope you don't mind us commenting on your video, but Mark Brudell was pretty good. Didn't get Byron Leftwich though, David Gerard, and a guy who's never taken a snap in the league till this past Sunday. I don't even know what he did, to be honest. No, you're right. Let's move on. That is revocable right there. You guys got what is wrong with you? Are you children?
Well, I guess they had no one to pick, right?
Then don't do one.
Yeah,
They've only had 4
Yeah.
quarterbacks since they started.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're again, but they're not as new as the Texans, who don't have any either.
True,
Yeah.
that's true.
We let Carolina keep theirs, but I'm sorry, folks. Sorry, Jags. And you were very nice to let the Saints and the Packers play in your stadium the other day because of the hurricanes. That was very nice. This is not a bad one.
Yeah, but Montana should be on that as well as the 49ers.
He got
that's
into
kind
a
of weird. Especially if Manning wasn't Manning on 2 teams on here.
Yep,
yeah,
Manning
he's already
was
been
on
on
2
2.
teams. Manning was on 2. Yep.
Montana
Denver,
should be on this one.
Montana should be in.
Instead of because Alex Smith played better than Trent Green. So Lynn Dawson, solid. You got a Hall of Famer. Mahomes will be a Hall of Famer probably.
Yeah, Mahomes going to be a Hall of
did
Famer.
a good job.
Great.
Yeah,
game
you
this
got to have
week, yep.
Mahomes on there.
I like Trent Green, but yeah, you're right. Montana, even though he played it for a short time, he won him a
2
couple
years,
of
2 seasons, 2 seasons. He played 2 seasons, got him to the playoffs each year. So
Maybe it's because he's on a different Mount Rushmore. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, but so is there are a couple guys on here on 2 of them.
Yeah, Manning's
Okay.
been on there twice. Peyton's been on there twice.
Yeah.
Breeze is on 2. Warner's on 2. Manning.
Peyton was on Colts and Bills. Was it the Bills?
No, Peyton was on Broncos and
Broncos.
Colts,
Broncos
yeah, so-
and Colts.
Colts,
you can do 2. You can be on 2. So nothing against Trent Green. He's actually a pretty decent quarterback. And of course he's the best thing that ever happened to St. Louis because he got hurt and they got Kurt Warner. Sorry, dude. That's mean. But Mahomes, no question about it, dude. I mean, the kid.
I have a quick story about Kansas City. I hate them, being a Raiders fan, and
Yes.
it's funny because when I was going to university back in the old days, there was this contest, this raffle, and in my entire life, I never win anything, and it's very rare I actually win anything, right? And so I got notified through email that, hey, you've won the football raffle for the Mount Allison Mounties football team. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. So I go in there. I said, yeah, you won one of our best prizes. You won the jersey. And I went, oh, cool. What jersey is it? Guess what team? The Kansas. I burned that jersey. I took it out, and it helped let a good campfire out where I cooked some s'mores.
Wow. I hope you didn't contaminate your food.
Yeah, probably.
This is funny. I'm not even a Raiders fan other than the mystique of the 70s, and both D-Bud and you guys who are. I'm so with you.
Plunkett.
Where
Where's
in the hell
Plunkett?
is Jim Plunkett?
He's got to be
Derek
there.
Carr does not belong on there, you children.
No,
who did this
that's where Jim Plunkett should be.
Jim Plunkett got you two Super Bowls.
Ken Stabler, you have to have Ken Stabler there. He's one of the greatest
quarterbacks you got to have.
Yeah. Yep. Rich Gannon, 1 year where he made a run to the Super Bowl and lost.
Yeah.
Daryl LaMonica, like really?
Absolutely.
He's
the Mad Bomber, man.
Great record. It's 62-16 record, I'm seeing. Yep.
Yeah, but Jim Plunkett, there's no way Derek Carr should be on there, but I understand why they put him on there because it's recency, right?
Because
Jim Plunkett.
Well, it's the stats too. Don't forget the game. Like everyone's been saying, the game is so skewed towards the quarterback now. These guys are putting up huge numbers that old timers never could come close to. So, it's a different game in a way. But I mean, let's see what he does.
If you're going to go recency, you get rid of Derek Carr, or you have to have Derek Carr, but you get rid of Rich Gannon and you put Jim Plunkett in there. Ken Stabler, Daryl LaMonica, I can go with. But yeah, Derek Carr and Rich Gannon, I'm kind of iffy on. I remember that Rich Gannon run too, and that was a heartbreaker in the final.
Right.
Go figure. Yeah. I'm literally not familiar with any of the guys on here, but I'm familiar with Plunkett.
Plunkett,
right?
And the way he did it too. Remember, he came and he was broken down. He'd already been traded from the Patriots, traded from the 49ers, and a garbage team there. And he came in and brought a wild card Raiders team all the way to the Super Bowl to win it once. Then a couple of years later, he came in again and brought him to win one. And when you got those 2 rings, I'm tired of hearing for these numbers hacks. Well, people like the numbers people, the stats horse. Look, rings and winning is what counts. And the guy got you to the biggest stage and won. And he was a broken down old, supposedly quarterback at the time when he did it. And
Super Bowl 15, Super Bowl. He had victories
19,
in those
18,
Super Bowls
15,
in 19. Yeah. Sorry, I meant to say that. And then
19,
like 2 Super Bowl rings. Let's compare him to 99% of all the other quarterbacks on these lists. So Jim Plunkett should be on there.
Yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's not even in the Hall of Fame, and he belongs there. Because
he's a very underrated quarterback too, because he doesn't have the huge numbers that a lot of these people. But he's passed for almost 26,000 yards,
and he won 2 Super Bowls
and 2 Super Bowls.
Right?
Like, you win 2 Super Bowls.
You're on that Mount Rushmore.
At that age, you belong in the Hall of Fame.
How can you be a quarterback who's got 2 Super Bowl rings and not be in the Hall of Fame? And this isn't like this just happened in the last 5 years. This happened 20, 30 years ago. So there's no excuse, right? That there is no way he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
It's pathetic.
Big heart too, eh? I remember his interviews as a kid. I'm a young kid, and I'll tell you right now that Jim Plunkett's probably one of the main reasons why I love the Raiders. That and their gritty determination, that just passion, right, that the team has. And he's one of the reasons where I would tune in and watch a football game, when I was a kid. And it just, whenever he would do the post game, and he'd be like, the team was in it all the way, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. And he was very giving guy, and his interviews were just amazing. And just the biggest heart. He had the most courage. Like, the guys would knock him down, and he'd get up. And oh man, those are the good old days, guys.
They are indeed. I have one thing to say to you, D. Bud Martin, when it comes to the Raiders. Holy Toledo! He was Bill King. This is a pretty good one here. This one,
can't argue with that one.
Dan Fouts is at least in the Hall of Fame. It's a shame. He played with Eric Coryell, never had good defenses. Yeah, Phillip Rivers. Yeah, no, he's a good quarterback. Yeah. He's, kind of, again, just circumstances happen sometimes. And how I used to love Drew Brees until what he did to me last year. But even when he was with he didn't have the breakout kind of career there that he did in New Orleans, but still he was their starter till he got hurt. And John Hadel's underrated. He kind of became a journeyman later, but that guy played in the AFL, and you had to air it out.
Wow, that's a while back. I'm actually not familiar with him.
He wore 21 as a quarterback, by the way. No one ever did that.
Oh wow,
but him.
One guy I'm seeing, reading about Stan Humphries is not on the list, but
he got him to a Super Bowl, but he wasn't that good though.
Wasn't that good? You'd say, yeah. And Doug Flutie. No, just kidding. He was there when he was old. Yeah,
Flutie. You gotta like Flutie, but
yeah, you love him. Yeah.
Yeah, but man,
I have a soft spot for Doug Flutie for
and a small guy and a small guy too. To whatever, but just kind of the underdog. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Humphries wasn't bad or anything. I think he was with the Redskins before he was with the. I'm sorry, I can't say that word. But he was a lot. But yeah, he got him in the Super Bowl. This is actually a really good one right here. I don't like the Crams, as I call them, but there was a while there where they had they had Norm Van Brocklin and Bob Waterfield in the same back. Both of them playing quarterback at the same time, and they're Hall of Famers. Kurt Warner's a Hall of Famer. Roman Gabriel. I don't know. There are other quarterbacks you could put that were probably better than Roman Gabriel that were for the Rams. Hey, Ferragamo got him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm glad you're mentioning Warner, Clobberin, because like Manning before him and like Montana before him, Kurt was on many teams. Obviously, he didn't have championships with all those teams, but he won quite a few bowls, even though he had times where he was benched a bit and he had his issues. There's Kurt, but overall, still a great player, obviously.
Journeyman. He's a journeyman.
I agree with RC. I would put Jim Everett over Roman Gabriel, or maybe even Pat Hayden. Maybe Vince Ferragamo. Say what you want about Ferragamo. We got him to a Super Bowl.
This is probably the oldest list in the group, right? I'm
guessing. But that's 3 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, it looks very old.
Hall of Famers on there. You doing? That's pretty.
No, I'm just saying. The era. The guys. Those are old.
Yeah, because Kurt Warner's the youngest one on that list.
The younger. Yeah. So I'm saying.
Yeah, Warner's the youngest one on that list.
Yeah.
So 3 Hall of Famers. You got to hand it to. I hate the Crams, but I always hated the Crams. That's why I call them the Crams.
They've had some good teams, but no spectacular teams.
No. Well, they did in the 50s, and then later when the Greatest Show on Turf.
Yeah,
man. Just imagine if they'd done what they were supposed to and beat those stupid Tom Brady 2001 Patriots like they should have. For God's sake. One time I can't count on you that we wouldn't have to put up with 20 years of worshiping Tom Lady.
And you know what? As great as this list is right here, you got to give it to to Dan Marino, for going out there and fighting all those years and never picking up a fucking ring.
Right?
God bless him. Yeah.
The guy who actually
bless
deserves several
Yeah.
rings, and he's got none.
Wait, where's Jim Carrey? I don't see his face up here.
Finkel and Einhorn. Finkel.
Finkel and Einhorn.
What defense said. Jim Everett, he sacked himself once. He did. Actually,
Hey,
He did
guys,
sack
laces
himself
out. Laces out.
laces out. Yeah, buddy. Bob Greasy, gotta love that man. He played with glasses on, dude.
Yeah.
Two Super Bowls. Marino, the greatest to ever not get a ring.
That's right.
Earl Morrow's is the big reason why that 72 team went undefeated, and he got benched for when Greasy got his leg healed up. And Ryan Tannehill's already gone. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, what? He's got a losing reck. Why the hell is he on the list? Take him off.
Because there's no one else. That's why.
Yeah.
There's nobody else.
Yeah,
Don Strock is on the
Don
one
Strock
of
was
those
a great backup.
backup. Yeah, but
Yeah. So
the one thing about Marino
I
too,
know
do you remember?
Jay
If I remember,
Jay Fiedler was better than Ryan Tannehill. Yeah.
but Marino made the Super Bowl his first year, and everyone said, "Oh, he's going to be here many more times," and that was his only shot. And that's, but he's one of the all time greats. So yeah, Loki's right. I mean, God, what an amazing career, but yeah, never got that ring. So
I don't think Eric. I don't think Bob Greasy was overrated. He was in that old style Shula offense where they made him throw the football. I mean, hand the football to Zonka and Mercury Morris. Once in a while, he aired it out to Paul Warfield. And then there was one Thanksgiving Day game where he threw for 7 touchdowns against the Cardinals in 1977 with glasses on. So, and he's in the Hall of Fame, and he kind of belongs there. Greasy. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? It's kind of funny how Shula forced him to hand the ball off all the time, and then he changed his coaching philosophy and had, Marino. But I do love Earl Morrall. I mean, that guy was a perennial. I mean, I don't know how many teams he was on, 4 maybe or something, and got to 2 Super Bowls.
Hail, Canadian Spider-Man. Good to see you.
Canadian Spider-Man. Yeah, what would Marino have done in the league?
There's still nobody on that list that's any good, but shit. Sorry.
What would Marino have done? God, if the rules today got or some of these other guys,
you couldn't touch him. Holy crap! Well, of course, did you know that Marino made? There was again. I always talk about top 10. I'm sorry, but they did one called Top 10 Most Mobile Quarterbacks. The last guy you'd think would be on there would be Marino. Guess what? He was. He ran for maybe like 90 yards in his whole career. You know why they put him on there?
Why?
Because he's in an electric wheelchair?
No, footwork. They showed and they proved the point to me. I was like, Marino, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
He was a cigar store Indian, but he wasn't. He would move. They showed he evaded. Yeah. He didn't scramble like Target. He moved around with his feet while staying still, looking straight down the field so well.
In the pocket, staying in the pocket, moving in the pocket.
Than anybody I've ever seen with the footwork.
Yeah.
He was
brilliant. He was amazing in the pocket. He could sidestep. He could backstep. He'd backpedal, sidestep. He had an incredible agility in the pocket.
He never had to take off running ever. But speaking of guys who could take off running and scrambling, I was surprised. I'm like, Marino, are you shitting me? But he was there, and I'm like, wow. And they made a good case for it. I got to admit. Now this list kind of all right. Look. Sir Francis, he's like up there with Marino as one of the greats who never got a ring. Invented the scrambling. I mean, and people say, why'd you do this? It's just running for my life. When he left the Vikings the first time, he went to your Giants. And he said they were so bad, he developed the scrambling technique because he was running for his life. And, he started throwing short, that kind of, the West Coast offense kind of evolved from people watching him throwing short passes and stuff because he would run around and keep a play alive with his legs all this time. And I love me some Fran talk. I feel bad that he, lost those 3 Super Bowls he did. But after this, look, Tommy Kramer was a pretty good quarterback. Kirk Cousins is poo-poo. And Dante Culpepper, all right. He
was forgotten about, Dante Culpepper. He
got hurt.
He was out. Yeah, he got hurt.
Randall Cunningham was better than him.
Yeah, oh, God, it's not even close. I don't get why Dante Culpepper was included.
Well, if he hadn't got hurt, you wonder what would have happened if he didn't wreck his knee.
Okay, that's true. But if you're going to take someone out, injury or not, he's the one who's got to go off this list.
I agree.
Even though he played a short time, Randall Cunningham had that incredible year in 98. And Culpepper, I don't know.
What about Favre? You got to put Favre.
Someone must have had a hard
there.
on for Peyton because we saw Peyton on two teams earlier.
And one of my one of the guys from my hometown was the center under Brett Favre. His rookie year, he played for Brett Favre.
Really? Wow.
Yep. Guy just down the street. Yep.
Kramer why is Kirk Cousins on here? He's a you just I don't know. Look,
here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, we have to cut this list. None of them deserve to be on there. Let's move to the next one.
That's actually
I hate to say it.
That's actually for my son's football team. So that's the only time I ever wore. He played for the Generals, so that's the only time I wore the Patriots logo. But I love that.
Oh, wow.
I do love that old school logo.
I love that old school. I love their old uniforms better than. I gotta tell you something. I hate to say it. I hate to say this but I'm gonna have to put on my objective hat now. This is a really good list.
It is a good list.
Yeah.
You can't argue with Brady whether you like him or not. You can't argue with Bledsoe for that team.
Really?
Nope.
Steve Grogan was a great quarterback who got stuck with some shitty teams. And Babe Pirelli played in the AFL and was a pretty good quarterback. Look, I don't like Brady. And I think I hate the fact that you can't touch him or sneeze on him or hurt his feelings by getting a penalty.
But that's the rules now,
he's
though,
got
right?
the rings.
He's got the rings.
Now the question is, could he play in 1976 when you could get knocked out? We'll never know.
Well, he's a big guy. You don't know, but
he's not that big though.
But I was watching. He's pretty big.
Can he take the Bradshaw hit and almost got killed?
The thing with Brady, we've seen him crumble when he's been hit 2 or 3 times in a game. We've seen him just not come back and be the Tom Brady that everyone talks about, that everybody loves. When he starts getting sacked, it just goes to shit. The offense goes to shit. So if you can get to Brady and you can shake him and you can give him the wobbly spaghetti legs, that's the end of the fucking game. So if you want to put him back in the 70s where it was just a gridiron smash mouth fucking football, where at any moment someone could come over that line and squash a fucking quarterback, he's not going to survive.
Let me tell you something about Tom Brady. We'll never know. I've seen games when I thought Terry Bradshaw was dead. I mean, he got hit so hard in Super Bowl 13. I thought there were times they carried him off on a stretch. I mean, he came back in the game. And Staubach, to be fair, and look, I don't like being fair to Brady. I can't stand him. The fact is, he played in the big games. He plays great for the kind of rules we got today. He is brilliant at reading defenses. He is brilliant. He's extremely accurate. And nobody can play if they're getting beat up and not getting protected, really. So, and he's not going to run around like Elway and make those kind of plays. But when he's got time, he's as good as anybody. I just think there's just a metric that says if you and the rings speak for themselves. But if he plays in 1975 or so whatever, they can maul you, they can hit you, they can land on you and shove your head into the ground and give you concussions all the time. Does he get up from that and shake it up? Maybe. I don't know.
He also doesn't play until he's 40 years old either. Back in the old days,
no, nobody does except
is he 40? Is he 45 now? What is he? 43? How old is?
Yeah, you're lucky if you make it to 35 back in the old days because you had about 13 concussions.
Yeah, I was watching it.
Kirk, you can't take. No one's taking his wins away. He earned them. I mean, the fact what he did to the Falcons made me so happy. I hated that I had to root for Brady because I hate the Falcons. Look, no one can take anything away from him, no matter how hard you try. I'm just saying that eras kind of matter.
Yeah, I was watching a game this week, and a guy QB went to slide, and the guy jumped over him and tapped the guy a little bit, and 15-yard penalty. It's really, it was like one of those accidental, taps or whatever. When you run into the guy, it was like, come on.
Oh, D. Bud Martin, the 70s Steelers would have killed anybody today. Those Steelers were awful.
Love the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Zach Tatum would have decapitated.
I love you, Clobby.
The assassin. He did to another Patriots player, Darryl Stingley. Isn't he the one who?
Didn't he put him out of?
Yeah,
he put him out of. He crippled him.
The guy paralyzed the guy.
They were talking about charges for that too and everything.
Yeah. That was a preseason game too, wasn't it? If I'm remembering right. Was that
I thought it was early
regular
in the season. I mean,
I could be
maybe.
Wrong. I'm just trying to remember.
I'm going to pretend like my old days, like when I cared about football and loved this team more than almost everything ever, other than like comics and Star Trek. And
that's not a bad list.
Archie Manning was my hero as growing up as a kid. Archie Who, as we called him. He got drafted in the same. You know how Bledsoe and Meyer got picked in the same draft. Before that, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. That happened. It was the first time. I mean, the time it happened before that. Well, whatever. Many years, 20 years earlier, it was Plunkett and Manning. Plunkett went first, and Manning went second. And I was, as an LSU fan, I was pissed that we have an Ole Miss quarterback, but it didn't take long. And he played for some horrible, garbage, absolute filthy teams. He was very mobile. He was 10 times more mobile than his sons. I think he was a better quarterback than his sons, but he had to play for shitty teams. And it took him 10 years just to get a non-losing record. He finally made like the Pro Bowl, and when they broke even one year. And it was just, but we loved him here. He was the only ray of hope we had in the 70s, the only good thing the Saints had in the 70s. And damn you, Bum Phillips. I used to love you till you traded Archie. And then we don't have the sound on in this video, but they actually pronounced, this is what they pronounced Bobby Hebert's name, Bobby Hebert.
I feel that pain because my name ends with like that too, where it's not supposed to be pronounced.
Well, Bobby's big sin was peaking when at the time when you had guys like Montana and Elway and all those other ones, and it just so happened that that great team of the late '80s, which was the first team that started winning for the Saints with that one of the greatest defense that ever existed, the Dome Patrol. They were just happened to be in the league with Montana, and the 49ers were at their best. The Redskins, the Cowboys, all these teams were, just better. And Aaron Brooks did get us our first playoff win ever in 2001. Had some good years. I mean, this is actually a decent list. And I used to love Drew Brees, and now after what he did to me, he just shattered my heart.
No, I get that, Clobby.
Shattered my heart, man. It hurt. I mean, this man, but to be fair, he did so much for this region down here. After Katrina,
after the hurricane, right?
Katrina destroyed this region, and that team in 2006 brought back so much to us. And that guy, look, you hear people say this a lot about other franchises. I was pretty sure I was never going to live long enough to see this team win a Super Bowl, and he made it happen. And that feeling, because of someone who loves that game that much. It'll never happen again, but the one time I got the feeling one time, and if you've never got that, I feel bad for you if you're a football fan or whatever your team you're in, because to feel that championship once as a fan, and so I got it because of him. So I'll always love him for that. But
do you think Archie Manning should be in the Hall of Fame, Clobby, or
his numbers won't get him in? He's got a lot of interceptions because he played with garbage and filthy teams, and they will never do it. So, but ability-wise, yeah, but I got to admit that, you have to win something.
Yeah, the numbers.
You have to win.
You got to have something to show for yourself, to show what did you accomplish.
Winning. Yeah.
That's you have a great QB on a bad team, and just
if he had switched places with Bradshaw, he'd have 4 rings. He could have done that with those Steelers. And now we're at your team.
Hey, here we go. I agree.
This is actually one of the best ones right here.
Yep.
Tittle was an amazing quarterback.
Yeah. LSU boy.
And actually, one of my buddies' classmates, her father was in the NFL and played with Wyatt Tittle his first year. So it was pretty interesting to hear some stories and stuff. But it's just a totally different game too when you watch the old footage. And the funny thing, like for my friend, they made like a list of all his highlights and why he was a semi decent player, but Wyatt Tittle was in some of the highlights, and just you watch that old footage, it's just totally different game. So you just admire these guys. They played. They got hit. They got. He got destroyed a few times. He right to the face, right
bloody.
To the mouth. I mean, he's bleeding all over the place, and it's just unbelievable.
He was drafted by the 49ers and then went to New York and got him to a championship game, didn't win it, but these other 3 are champions.
Yeah. So it's I would
one
say
of the best ones on here.
I mean, of course, Phil Simms was out that one year that the Giants won. So honorable.
But he
mention.
did win one though.
Yeah, no, he won, but honorable mention to. I'm trying to blank on who was the Hostetler.
Up your Hostetler. Up until recently, though, that Super Bowl in 20 or 21, the one he won against the Broncos, he held the best passing percentage in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Up until
that was an amazing game amazing game to watch as a Giants fan. Just as like, is he going to miss a pass? I think Phil Simms has been interviewed too a couple times, like making a joke about some of the guys dropping, dropping balls or whatever in that game. He's like to, get the perfect, get the rating up. But that's a great list, and the younger brother, beating Tom Brady. Eli winning those games. Can't, everyone wants to knock Eli, but he got it done in the big games and made clutch passes. And I think maybe his demeanor sometimes maybe it worked against him, just that aw shucks kind of demeanor. And
I think they just wanted to knock him because his name was Eli.
Right.
Well, being part of that Manning family, like I said earlier, I always hated Peyton, and to see Peyton up in the stands having to watch little brother kick the shit out of Tom, I'm just like, I know, I love that shit. Go Eli, and show Big Brother how it's done.
And actually, I liked Eli a lot more than his brother. At least he was a little bit more. Well, he was less boastful. He was. I mean, you're a quarterback on a championship team, right? You're going to be, arrogant, right? You're going to have the ego. You're going to be an alpha male. But I thought he always took it better than his brother did.
And Giants fans were knocking him later in his career. It's like, guys, you won 2 Super Bowls,
right?
He's knock it off, and he's going to make the Hall of Fame. It's just people. What have you done for me lately? But
he's going to the Hall of Fame.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he'll be there with Plunkett.
Well, Plunkett won't be there one day, but maybe.
Yeah.
I wish.
I'm just saying 2 championships right now.
No, you're right with the 2. This one, really, there's only one guy on here. They deserve a Rushmore just for Namath. And if he didn't have that one win, with his numbers, he wouldn't have a chance.
Nope.
Well, Vinny Testaverde too, though.
Yeah, Testaverde. He got him in the chance. They had some great.
Is in a Jim McMahon position. He got the job done, and by default, he gets the Mount Rushmore Jets position, not the Mount Rushmore general position. He's the Jets Rushmore.
Well, that's because they don't have anything. Kid O'Brien was pretty good though. What's that looking?
For a normie looking at this list, no one knows who the fuck Ken O'Brien is. No one knows who Testaverde is. No one knows who Pennington is. Yeah. Namath is a name. Yes.
Yeah.
For normie, for someone who doesn't love old NFL players, they have no idea who the hell is on this list. They may have heard a Namath, but the rest of them, no, you don't know who the hell they are.
Yeah, and it's the Jets too. It's the New York Jets. Yeah. So they've never been a championship caliber team except for what 7. What was the year? Oh, jeez.
Well,
Vinny did
Parcells got him to the champ. Yeah. That's some good years with Parcells.
Championship game.
Yeah. I know they got to but they never got to the Super Bowl under Vinny.
No.
He made it to the championship game, I think.
Yeah.
O'Brien O'Brien did beat
the
Marino.
Dolphins.
Yeah. He beat Marino in a quarterback duel to like 50 to 50 something or whatever. One of the greatest quarterback duels of all time. He did get the better of Marino that day, but no.
Yeah.
A lot of people got the better of Marino though.
Well, yeah.
And the New York era, Ken O'Brien was pretty well liked during those seasons, I got to say. So, but that's all like Loki's saying though. That's like to a normie, yeah. But if you grew up in that era, he was
Pennington,
yeah, not Chad Pennington. Yeah, we can strike Chad Pennington.
Who picks Pennington on that list? Yeah,
another team I hate. Thoughts, just in case you're keeping score. I hate the Eagles. Sorry, Eagles fans.
That would be
Giants hate the Eagles too.
Donovan
sounds like
McNabb.
McNabb. I always hated McNabb. I hated the stats on McNabb. They wanted to make McNabb this great wide-eyed vision of a quarterback, and he just wasn't.
I hate this team too, Clobby. I'm with you.
Why is it Norm Van Brocklin on here? He won him a championship.
Who?
Norm Van Brocklin. Where is he? Norm Van Brocklin won them a championship.
Why is Ron Jaworski on there?
Jaworski, I don't know.
Tough
Got him
guy.
to a Super Bowl. You got him through some tough years. I kind of like Joss. Randall, you got to love. Donovan won a lot for him, though, and he made him competitive.
He's kind of like, I'm going to get into wrestling terminology. He was kind of like a Roman Reigns player. They wanted you to be all in on him, and he just didn't hit the mark. Like, they try to market him with, like, kids' home videos. They were all in on him.
Chunky Soup.
Yeah,
well, that's recency again,
right?
Yeah. That's recency again. Donovan McNabb is a recency, and that so he's a name. If you don't really know football in the last 10 years, you've probably heard his name, so that's probably why.
Oh yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, look, the guy got him to a lot of playoff games, and he just couldn't win the big one, So
yeah, he's been in a lot of playoffs.
Nick Foles got him a Super Bowl win. I mean, beat Tom Brady.
Yep.
So kind of tough not to put him on there, even though he's kind of a journeyman type. But Nick Foles plays usually when if you get him in a regular season as a starter, and when you put him in cold in a playoff game or a postseason game of some kind, he's Montana. Somehow, I don't know what it is with this dude, because he can't play regular season. Just like you talk about Manning, it's nothing but regular season. Then when he gets in the big games, this guy's the reverse. He can't carry a team and win them 16 games or 13 games or 12, but put him in a playoff game, he'll just come in and they're off the bench and boom, boom, boom. So give him some credit, I guess. Nick Foles. Where is he now? Chicago?
Oh no! And the Eagles got honorable mention for the toughest fans in the league, right? Craziest fans.
The craziest fans who boot Santa Claus.
Yeah, they got the jail in the stadium. My friend who's a season ticket holder. Don't wear any Giants gear to the game with me. You might get killed, even though you're with me.
Yeah, Eric, Sonny Jurgensen did play for them, but he's going to be on another list because Jurgensen didn't get to stay with the Eagles long, and the Eagles were horrible in the 60s. Okay.
Bradshaw. You gotta love Bradshaw, man.
Bradshaw.
He wasn't even the best player, but he got the job done.
He won.
Yeah, he won.
Look at his fingers.
And he's a better announcer than Romo.
That's right.
Yes. Oh man, Bradshaw's nuts. Louisiana boy.
I have a soft spot for Terry Bradshaw because I seen him play a lot of games, and boy, he got pounded. But he's a big boy. He got right up, and next play he would throw the football again. Man, he took a lot of hits for that team.
Not
and
only
he came back
literally.
early. He ruined his arm the last.
He did.
Yeah,
he put up
coming back too early.
Chuck Noll treating him like a piece of crap for years. When they were really bad early on when he picked him after he picked Mean Joe Green, which was the best pick they ever made. Then he comes a year later when he picks Bradshaw. Everyone's calling him stupid in Pittsburgh. He's a dumbass redneck crack. He can't do anything right. He's garbage. Then they win a Super Bowl. Then the following year, they bench him. No, benched him. And the next season after winning a Super Bowl, he gets benched again.
Oh,
he got benched again.
He had a rough ride there, but I hear in the behind the scenes there was some stuff going down there too in Pittsburgh, right? You know that, right? That I guess he was a little mouthy, and somebody high up took offense, and that was it. He got benched, and then it was 2 years.
Yeah, but Noel doesn't care that much. Noel put Joe Gilliam in there because he thought he played better in preseason. He thought Terry looked like crap. Well, Gilliam started playing like crap. He put Bradshaw in again, and he only just won him another Super Bowl. And then he stopped doing that crap to him. And, I remember before one of the Super Bowls, was it when they were playing the Cowboys those two times? It was Tom Hollywood Henderson said, Terry Bradshaw is so dumb he couldn't spell the word cat if you spotted him the C and the T.
Yeah.
Well,
which is probably true.
And
you don't need to spell to win games.
No. Roethlisberger I can't stand, but it's one for him.
I've actually met Ben Roethlisberger.
Really?
Yep, I actually have. My wife and I went to a game, Pittsburgh against the Jets, and we were VIP. We had VIP tickets right up front, and then we got a chance to just, hey, how's it going, kind of thing. It was pretty cool. He's soft spoken. He seemed nice guy. Didn't come off as an asshole like I've heard some people have called him. But yeah, he's I think he's one of those. He has a really good team around him, and he's a steady, consistent guy. So short distance, he's good. Long distance, not so much. But I like those two guys.
Plus,
the
he's
other
a tough guy. Tough guy.
I have
tough
a question
guy too.
about.
Well, he takes.
I have a question.
He can
How
take.
could you
Takes a
put?
hit, yeah.
How could you put Neil O'Donnell on any list? This guy threw the two worst passes in Super Bowl history, right to Larry Brown. I mean, I had a buddy of mine's a Cowboys fan. I used to tease him all the time. I said, "You guys got a Neil O'Donnell statue outside of Cowboys?" And we're hanging around at the Barnes and Noble one night. We're looking at football books and stuff. And I opened this book. What these big picture books of football? One of them has the shot of Larry Brown picking off the first or second interception or whatever that O'Donnell threw right to him, and there's nobody near him for 5 miles near where they threw this football. And I show it to him, and he just starts busting out laughing. Look, you'll take it. I know you'll take it, Cowboys fans. He did it twice. Why this guy is on here? Were you guys alive in 1996 or 5 or whatever? Holy shit!
Well, we got him on the Jets then.
And
those damn Cowboys.
That's just a number. I'm looking at the stats. He's number 4 for passing. So it's just like one of those stats things.
These are stats people, yeah.
That's what I think it is. Yeah,
that was what everyone was a Cowboys fan just because.
I can remember my father throwing a beer bottle against the wall after that second interception.
I'm taking one guy off. One guy's
Kaepernick on this fucking list.
Exactly. See, and this is the actual issue once again.
That's ridiculous.
It's one thing when you're look at the bad actions from bad deeds like guys like Vic and Kaepernick. Vic at least had some talent. Kaepernick, no.
He had one good year, right? Or 2 good years?
Like 1 or 2 good years. That year they went to the Super Bowl. Alex Smith played most of those games. He played well in spots, but he has terrible career numbers.
This is victimhood. This is victimhood.
Yeah.
Out again because the best quarterback on Madden NFL this year is a quarterback that's a free agent. That's Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, and then
it's funny. I haven't played that years.
He's not on a team. It completely sucks. I know that I heard earlier that Colin Kaepernick has the best stats as a quarterback, and he's a free agent.
Put Elvis Gerbeck on the hill.
Elvis Gerbeck had better numbers than him. So did Alex
Smith. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's because of the writer of this list. Yeah. The writer of this list kneeled to the 49ers fans. That's what happened.
Jeff Garcia was better than this guy.
Victimhood is apparently a stat now.
It is a stat.
Frankie Albert, you could put up there, maybe.
Yeah, Frankie Albert should have been on there. Just nice. Wyatt Till didn't play long enough for them, but still, plenty of better choices. I'm glad to see John Brody.
9 years. Tittle was there 9 years. 9 years, yeah.
Well, he belongs
16,000 yards, yeah. So put him up there
good
too.
To see on there. Yeah, and the other two are without question. I mean,
as far as I'm concerned, Tittle should be up there before Young. Young didn't take them anywhere. Young had some good stats, but Young didn't take them anywhere.
He won a Super Bowl though.
Ooh, I disagree with you there.
He's my hometown guy though. Okay, them is fighting words.
Tittle never won anything for him, and Young won a Super Bowl.
I think Steve Young deserves to be on that list, but
he's a Hall of Famer.
Great runner too. Don't forget runner.
Yeah, you have a good argument. I can appreciate that, but I think Kaepernick does not go anywhere near this list.
No,
so you can throw Kittle in there, or you can. There's a couple of guys actually I could think that would probably fit better than him, but John Brody. I mean, he's old school. That's the 70s. The 49ers,
60s and 70s,
60s and 70s, yeah, right.
Played 17 years. This is 17 years.
He was a guy who that was another one of those tough quarterbacks that lasted forever. Like he was tough, could run, could throw the ball, but those are the days of passing the balls off too, right? And just being the face of the team. But I think he was a good quarterback. Those are some good 49ers teams too in those old days. That was the days of the AFC and NFC.
Yeah, but they got bad in the late 70s. Now,
they got really bad. They were bad for like 15 years.
If Crapperdick had won that Super Bowl though, and you know,
That's a great
game.
game.
Maybe.
That would be all it takes. I'd go, yeah, put him on, but he has garbage career numbers. You know, Garcia wasn't all that great or anything, Eric, but he was better than Kaepernick. He was a better passer than Kaepernick. And yeah, I mean, so Kaepernick's garbage.
Yeah,
he has terrible career numbers.
And he was benched when he was benched when all this stuff happened too. It wasn't like he was, a starting QB. I mean, record was 5-2, 12-4, 8-8, 2-6, 1-10. So he's 1-10 in 2016. So the guy was on his way out of the league.
One or two full seasons, he's trash. He's trash in a lot of ways. Now, Loki, I'll tell you this, buddy, 8 is half of 16. And 4.
I always felt like Young inherited Montana's team, and after that kind of broke up, he didn't have anything after that.
That's
it
true.
Was like that was Montana's team, and then once that was done, he was done. Young was done.
That's a good point.
But that's my personal opinion.
I've 30,000 yards. I mean,
I know that, and I've got some bad blood because I was such a Montana fan, and I thought they got rid of Montana too early. They dumped Montana. He went on to play with Kansas City. He had 2 really good seasons with Kansas City.
Yeah.
If Rice had been there with him, he would have won another Super Bowl.
Shout out to Jimmy
I
Rice.
could see that I could see that as a fan. I guess because this Young was so good, they figured, hey, let's go with the young guy. Bad pun, but it's really tough to see one of your favorite players go to another team, and he's got something left in the tank too. So that really, I can see where that really hurts. So, but
I do like Tittle though,
as a
too.
business. He's
I definitely have Tittle on there.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good one. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Russell Wilson is a Hall of Famer.
Where's R&B? We should have brought R&B in to talk about Seattle.
And what Eric K said, yeah, absolutely right. He did. Young did have to deal with salary cap, and Montana did not. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, guys. I was just,
that's a good point.
No. Look, he also had unbelievable passer ratings. Young had some years where he had brilliant passer ratings, and I don't like him because I hate the 69ers, but
I've met him a few times. He's a pretty nice guy, but he does a lot of
I've always been a fan of Young, but maybe I was a little bit jaded too because he had some great teams there. He was deep in the playoffs for several years, and but I think you're right, Loki. Your analysis is spot on. I agree with you.
He didn't inherit. Look, just like you could say George Seifert inherited Will Walsh's team for the most part. A few guys came in later that he brought in there, but Young did come, he did inherit Walsh and Montana's team. Nevertheless, when you throw, 6 touchdown passes in the Super Bowl, I don't care who you're playing against,
you're going to win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Usually.
Plus, you got to get it done too. You're placing a Hall of Fame guy. You got to, how often does that happen where you get, another good quarterback? It's very rare in the league that, you had that with, Favre getting, replaced by another great quarterback. So there is that pressure too to compete. So. And you got to have that talent to get it done in the NFL. You can't, look at Kaepernick. I mean, he was benched because he couldn't, he was a horrible quarterback at the end. No one would really have cared about him protesting. I hate to say, if he was throwing touchdowns, he would have been playing. I mean,
he lost his job to Blaine Gabbert. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Russell Wilson's Hall of Fame material, no question about it. Hasselbeck's just kind of was a work.
But did you see what Pat S said? Did you see what Pat S said about Matt Hasselbeck?
Most average quarterback of all the Yep. Dave Craig was a journeyman, but the guy, he fumbled a lot because he had small hands, but he's got a zillion yards and was a pretty good quarterback. And Jim Zorn got stuck with building an expansion bad team of the Seahawks, but helped put he and Creek put Steve Largent right at the top of the great receivers. So this is not a bad list here.
No, it's not bad for a perennial awful team.
Where'd you go with the term perennial awful?
Well, they've got a few little.
Well, they did what? 2 Super Bowls or 1 with Wilson?
They got to 2. He won 1 and lost 1.
Right? Okay, yep.
And Hasselbeck lost 1. Although they got robbed.
Yeah, that's true. That was a tough game.
Wilson was a 75th overall pick in the 2012 draft. Wow.
Oh my God! Here we go with the Tampa Bay butthole.
Oh no,
In
is
my
Brady
division, so I hate him.
Oh no,
You know it's a
of course
bad
we
team
do.
when Tom Brady,
is
who's
he on twice?
he's on there twice, and this is his second team when he's in his 40s.
Yeah, but he's only played 1 year. That doesn't count.
No,
He
it
was.
doesn't.
When you get a Super Bowl, you get and when you're Tom Brady.
I'm trying to help you out here. I'm trying to help you out here,
That
I was
Super
talking
Bowl
about
was not won by Tom Brady. Let me tell you right now.
This is
That
what I was
Super Bowl
talking
was-
about with. This is what I was talking about with Joe Montana in Kansas City earlier. He deserved to be on that list. And you've got two quarterbacks now that are on two different Rushmores. Come on, three.
Well, he can be on our. He's on our. He's on our list. We'll add him to our list. Yep.
You had Manning. You had who'd you have? You had Breeze. You had Warner. Wasn't there another one? I can't remember.
Well, we voted Wyatt Tittle on the other
Tittle's,
on our list.
Yeah.
Look, you got to let him slide because he was the quarterback of their second championship. So it's Brady. You just can't fight that battle.
And there's the
Jameis
only
Winston,
reason he's on there is because they won the Super Bowl.
And the Bucks. What do they have? Brad Johnson was one of the
Good point.
most average quarterbacks ever to be a Super Bowl winner. Love Doug Williams later with what Doug Williams belongs there because he did drag that team out of garbage. And,
Yes.
And made him a winner, after those horrible early years. Jameis, he's now with the Saints. This guy threw 30 interceptions in a season once. Whatever, Tampa.
Put Steve Young on this list instead of him.
Yeah, Steve Young was on this team, though, man.
I must say, I love their insignia, though. I love that Buccaneers thing with the skull and crossbones. I love that.
Yeah,
Pirate ship.
Yeah.
Cool uniforms, but I hate them because
they have cool uniforms.
They're in our division.
They're getting rid of those. It's now a sign of ist and obes. And
no!
I knew you'd go there, Loki. That's good.
White supremacy. It's white supremacy now, so you can't have that. There's Moon. There's Moon. Holy shit! There he is.
Oilers. Whoa, damn it! Slipped on me. Hang on.
Good, dude.
Oilers.
Great fight song.
Yeah, I love and then Miami stole it.
Miami.
But yeah, the Houston Oilers, now the Tennessee Titans. As soon as this gets there, look, Warren Moon is a Mount Rushmore unto himself.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Marcus Mariota gone? Didn't he leave? No,
he left. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone.
Raiders?
He left in 2019. Yep.
Yeah, because Tannehill played last year and played well for one. Okay, you got the sad story of the late Steve McNair was really good.
Mm-hmm.
You got George Blanda, that was his best years as a passer because he's mostly kicking for the Raiders and didn't play much I think he was drafted by the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
But then he went to the AFL. But Warren Moon, folks, you got to talk about Warren Moon. He is a Mount Rushmore unto himself. This guy won 5 Grey Cups and then came to the NFL, didn't win a championship, and he got stuck in that stupid Jerry Glanville run and shoot.
Yep.
But I agree with you wholeheartedly, Eric K. Dan Pastorini belongs on this list before Marcus Mariota, you dumb children who made this list.
I agree 100%. Yeah, 100%.
I said I wouldn't pick on him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pick on him. You guys.
No, dude, this is the same channel that had Colin Kaepernick on their list and Michael Vick on their list.
Yeah, Michael Vick at least was good though.
Yeah, I know.
But Dan Pastorini was for the Oilers, he was their bread and butter for a good while, and they got Earl Campbell and help, and he just got kind of beat up. But Mariota, you guys are insane.
What, he's thrown 3 passes?
He played a year or 2?
Yeah, a year, I think.
And
Mariota was 5 seasons, but
but he was the third string quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill played 1 year, and he played last year better than Mariota did.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Moon, man. Shout out to Moon.
He was a fun player to watch too.
He was.
The Washington.
Unpredictable.
The guy that you can't hear me calling the football team.
The Washington football team.
Redskins. Yeah, I'm calling them the Redskins.
No. The Washington football team.
The Redskins?
Can't say that now.
I already did. Yeah. Sue me.
2 Hall of Famers on here. The Slinging Sammy Baugh speaks for itself. He is one of the all-time greats. Again, this is a guy.
That helmet.
I love that helmet. You know, the thing is, like Luckman before him, or like a guy like Luckman, or if Harvard was on there, or like a Unitas. This guy was doing it when no one else was throwing the football. He kind of revolutionized the passing game and played Iron Man football. He has like 30-something interceptions on defense, and he has a lot of punting stats. He has stats that no one will ever do because he played both sides of the football. Slinging Sammy Baugh is a god amongst football players.
And Joe Theismann, of course, should be on this list.
But Sonny Jurgensen was also he was fantastic. But Theismann, Super Bowl, and Mark Rippon, who they called Ripon on here, proving that they weren't old enough to watch him play. Only had a couple decent years, but he got a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I'm looking at Sammy Baugh.
Good Redskin teams. There's been some good Redskin teams.
Ball stats. He also played defense back then. 31 interceptions on defense. So imagine that.
Yep. Both sides of the ball. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal. I think that's the last team, right? The Redskins.
Yeah.
Wow. Are we done already?
Yeah. Do we reach the end of the line?
I only have to get up in 5 hours. It's awesome.
I think that's there's no other team past the Washington football team. Oh my God!
I knew when they were going to replace that name because I remember them talking about as far back as like '98, and then like when I heard the name was official, I'm like, it's gonna be bad, and then somehow it ended up being even worse than I thought it was gonna be by just calling it football team.
Well, I heard they might try the Warriors, but then they said they couldn't use that name now because
they're talking about the Red Wolves.
Red Wolves now.
But until they say the color, you're adding a color to the Wolves.
Oh yeah, you're being to Wolves, aren't you?
Oh, I know, and then I know that those type of people have been trying to come after the Chicago Blackhawks, and like Blackhawks, they've never given in, but they've added things. They paid their respects to the Indians, stuff like that before the game starts. It's just like I get the idea they don't want to surrender a name, but the more things you add on to pay respect, whether it's sincere, which I'm sure it is, you're never going to satisfy these people. You're never going to satisfy them.
No, you're not going to satisfy anybody. Screw them.
Yep, I agree.
They're best kickers of all time, Pettis. Is that what you want to say?
The best kickers.
Like I said earlier, this is the time for victimhood. Victimhood gets you points now. Victimhood is what gets you into acting roles and football roles and all kinds of shit now.
Yeah, it's failing upwards, Loki. It's all about failing upwards.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Victimhood is what counts now. It doesn't matter if you're a good player. It doesn't matter if you play for the team. None of that shit matters. It doesn't matter if you wear a suit to that get together or whatever, like they used to make them back in the day. All that matters is how big of a victim am I, and how can I use that to make myself hot and a star.
Oh yeah,
victimhood sells. I'm a victim, and that sells.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, wow. The
virtual signal. Yeah.
From the NYC saw the game live where Lawrence Taylor, when he broke Theismann's leg on that Monday nighter.
I saw that. He was there. Yeah. I was watching that too, and I never wanted to see that again. And I was watching The Blind Side with my kids, and of course they showed that scene, and the lineman, and I was like, oh my, it's just so horrible. And even as much of a competitor as LT was, you love watching him play. He was the famous. He knew it was an accent. He was yelling out to the sidelines, get out here to, because in the end, a lot of these guys are it's competitive, but they don't want to. Most of the guys don't want to see someone get hurt like that. So. That was horrific to watch. And Theismann never played another game, I don't think, right? Did he?
No, that was it. And for a long time too, he could barely walk.
Yeah. It was terrible.
Yeah, because the medical, and then who was the quarterback that had almost the same injury a couple years ago and came back and just retired?
It was Alex Smith for the Redskins.
Yep. That was another
Almost
good
the same
quarterback
exact energy.
that was really a career.
He almost died, and he almost died from it too, with infections and everything. So yeah, football's I played hockey as a kid, and that's a rough and tumble game. I know you played that too, LT, but in some ways, football can be even I don't know how you compare the two, but probably some of the most violent sports up there. With it's the speed in hockey, but football.
I thought it was bad. I thought it was bad doing law enforcement and arresting bad guys who were stabbing me and throwing beer bottles at me and beating me up. But you know what? University hockey was a lot worse because there was slashes and hooking and everything else. It was worse. It was worse than being on patrol. Was playing hockey in Canada. That's for sure.
Slap shot.
Well,
slap shot up my head. Both of them.
Oh, we know. Mark D with a C's favorite team. I guess we figured it out. But Loki, I don't really still know. Do you have a favorite team, or did you ever have one?
I used to have one. Of course, I love the 49ers when Montana played. I love the Chiefs when Montana played. I liked the Dallas Cowboys when it was Aikman and Emmett, and they were playing their hearts out and winning games. I liked the Bills. I can't say I've ever had oh my God, this is my team besides the Cowboys, because I grew up in Texas. So as a kid growing up in Texas who played football in junior high and high school, and I mean, sophomore year of high school, I was 6'3", 280 pounds. I was killing people on the field. The scouts were salivating, going, "Oh my God, I can't wait!" And then I was done. In one moment I was done, and that's it. And I walked away. And I used to love watching the Cowboys. So I guess if anything, it'd probably be the Cowboys, because I grew up watching the Cowboys and loving the Cowboys.
It's guys like you, Loki, that made me learn to run really fast.
LT is the running back, right? Yep.
What about you, LT? What were your teams or teams?
Oh, wow. Well, my dad's team growing up was the Steelers, the Bradshaw years especially, because that's when I really started to really clue into football. But I always secretly hated them and loved the Raiders. I love the underdogs. Like,
yeah, you can't like both of those teams.
When Moon started pitching the football too, I used to like the Oilers. There was some of the good old days. I have a little soft spot for Buffalo because of it's closer to Canada, and it's really hard to say. But I've always been a Raiders fan. Always. It's been a tough 20 years since Gannon, really. But I'm hoping for some good things to happen around the corner, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's funny because even in the last probably 20 years, especially, I've always had, maybe 30 years, I've always had on Sunday the football going on in the background. So I'd be doing whatever I'd be doing at home, but football would always be playing. Whatever game was on, and you'd hear the commentators come on and the screaming and yelling and, oh, it's a great pass. So I would always run into the room and check it out. No matter who was really playing, I always kind of loved football. But I would say in the last 3, 4, maybe 5 years, football isn't on anymore. I don't have the heart to watch it. My wife and I still have our football party. We used to host one for the boys, at the detachment. We'd have the boys come over for the Grey Cup, the CFL version of the Super Bowl up here in Canada. And we'd also have one for the Super Bowl where we'd have the boys come over and to have a full basement. We'd have some beers and we'd have pizza and we'd have wings, and it'd be like potluck. Everybody would bring their stuff, and, it'd be all for the halftime show. It'd be great for all the ladies. And all the guys would be loving the football. So I kind of miss those years because I don't think the social aspect of football is there anymore, especially with the coof that's going on. I think a lot of that's missing now in football. But in all honesty, I miss the social part of it more so than the actual football games.
Well, yeah, I hear you, man. I'm so with you on that. We have a super chat from my wonderful first off. She didn't have to do that.
Hey, Raquel. Hey, Raquel. Love you.
Hey,
Raquel. Kiss, kiss.
Hey. Love you, first officer. And I miss you, and I hope you're doing well. And Thank you. You said I know zero about football, sporting, but I love the gentlemen on this panel. Clobberin, you embarrass me, make me say it. I can't say that.
She paid $5 Canadian for it. You have to say it, otherwise she gets a refund.
I'll say it. Clobberin, I hate your guts, and I hope I'm sorry. I love you, Donovan.
So $5 Canadian, that's what, $1.30 American?
It's $1.30. Enough to buy some maple syrup, eh?
Yeah, but Clobby will buy some metric beers with that. Come on.
Love you, Michelle. Love you, number one. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I appreciate it. We love you, so you take care.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Nicholas, I'm not sure what doesn't get it. Like I said, we asked Mark earlier, but do you have? I know you're a Bears fan, but is that your only team or whatever? Because
I like the Broncos, of course, during the mid to late '90s. I was definitely obviously a John Elway guy, and what really got me oddly that John Elway was Nerf, because he was the poster boy for Nerf. So it got me use a Nerf sports ball outside, in the yard in the parks when I was a kid. And I see John Elway in action on TV. I'm like, this guy's badass. So besides obviously liking the Bears, but also being disappointed by the Bears on a daily basis, having the Broncos around gave me less things to be mad about. So it kind of balanced out the equation. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, like generally not a fan of Packers, but that Vince Lombardi era. I'm just saying, when they were winning NFL championships, they were such a good team. And
Title Town.
Yes, Title Town, dude. The Ice Bowl. Enough said. Like, the Packers were incredible, like unprecedented at the time. So I will always at least acknowledge that era for that team. So I'd say that would be my top three. As far as teams, I was like, that was the enemy. I'd say the Vikings were. That was a big one.
Yeah.
I had my dad and his
Bears fans aren't supposed to like the Packers, dude. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. They're not.
It's not natural.
No, it's not. Like I said, in general, I don't. But I have that one exceptional era for reasons. When you're legitimately good.
A Bears friend of mine would want to throw things at you for that.
Probably would.
That'd be like me liking the Chargers or the Rams, man.
Me liking the Falcons. But go ahead.
Oh, but the Vikings were the enemy. I just like. Oh, that was like the truest enemy. I'm like, oh, the fucking Vikings. I hated. Don't get me wrong. I got annoyed losing to Brett Favre. Favre was I knew he was talented, but he drove me crazy. But Viking was an even bigger bitter pill to swallow than Brett Favre was, because I didn't see myself as losing to the Packers. I saw as we were losing to Brett Favre, and I couldn't have that. But then losing to Vikings was adding insult to injury. Oh, the Vikings. Yeah.
So, Mark D, it's the Giants, and you said Giants. You used to love the Cowboys, huh?
Yeah, I grew up loving the Cowboys of the 70s, like Loki mentioned, and just those guys are just one of the all-time great teams. That rivalry with the Steelers was just great to watch. It was a totally different league. I mean, and I remember like the Super Bowls used to start much earlier on the East Coast. So you'd go even though my dad wasn't a football fan, you'd drive to Uncle Joe's house or a friend's house at 11 o'clock in the morning. You'd pig out all day and all this awesome food, and then the game was over by 3 or 4 o'clock. So then you could head home for now the game starts at 6 and ends at almost midnight, which is way too late on the East Coast. Damn you, California. Just kidding. But it was fun to it was like an event or like a holiday. And then LT was mentioning the social aspect too with the vid going around, and as much as maybe I've been watching football, but it's an excuse to make I love making chili, love to cook, and all the football appetizers and things you make, and then you hang out with friends, and like Sunday's kind of like hey, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to God bless the wives. So actually my dad got a quick story. They moved in the 70s when they moved into like a development. Everyone was newlyweds, basically, just to have kids. It was all, starter houses. And the wives were all complaining because my dad didn't watch football, and he's out there working on the yard and fixing stuff in the house, building a deck. And the wives are saying, well, why can't you be out there like Lucian, working on the yard? So the dads were told, the other dads told my daddy to knock it off on Sunday. They're gonna pissed at him. But yeah,
and shout out to Father Christopher Miller. Sorry, I missed all those Sundays.
Yeah, right.
Shout out, yeah.
But it's football is just a special sport, and it's it's fun to watch. We'll see what happens in the next few years. But yeah,
I miss it. And
for all those reasons. It's fun. It's it's not like any other sport. I think in terms of that social aspect, like LT was saying.
Yeah, true.
To echo what Mark D said, I would sit down for a beer and a dog with you guys anytime and watch a game with y'all.
Hell yeah, man.
Beer and a
great.
dog.
Glorious.
That sounds like a promise.
Yeah, right. Sounds like an invitation.
Even I'll sit there and watch again. I'll watch anyway, but it's so aside from my 50-year love affair that didn't last year with the Saints and in the 70s because we were so bad and I loved football so much as a kid, by November we were out of it. So I did love Roger Staubach and those 70s Cowboys, and after what that piece of dribbled Jerry Jones did to Tom Landry, to hell with him.
Yep.
I always just have kind of a soft spot in my heart for the Browns with Bernie Kosar and those Monty Schottenheimer teams and stuff, and the way they unfortunately lost to Elway with drive and the fumble and stuff. I felt bad for them, but kind of like those Browns, they would have been better in those Super Bowls that those Broncos were, because Elway carried those teams. But yeah, now I guess I'm going to go around the horn, folks. I thank everyone for being here tonight. I had a blast doing this, guys. I love this kind of stuff, and I hope I don't get too much trouble for using that damn video. But what the hell?
I'm sure you'll be fine, Clobberin. I'm sure you'll be okay.
Mr. Stone Loki, sir, tell us what you got going on, brother, and I really appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much.
I thank you I never get to talk football. It's like Lord of the Rings. I never get to talk Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. Nobody ever wants to talk about Lord of the Rings.
I will talk about Lord of the Rings any day.
There you go.
Getting to talk about old school football, that's a treat. So thank you. Next week, Clobby and I are going to be doing a Batman animated series review.
Oh, yes.
Not series. Not the series. I'm sorry. The Phantom, the Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, that's a masterpiece.
Best Batman movie there is. Best Batman movie there is.
Agreed.
So, and that'll I think the first one's going to be on my channel. Next one's going to be on his. I don't know, but we're going to be looking at the animated universe. For once a month.
Nice.
Because we're not doing the round till Tuesday night.
That's right. Tuesday. Okay,
Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Gotcha.
We're gonna be talking about Mask of the Phantasm. What a great movie it was.
Oh, God,
and looking at the DC animated universe. So every now and then. So I missed working with Clobberin time. I really do. We were doing the comic book roundtable once a week. And I really wanted to keep doing something with Clobberin. So we're gonna look at the DC animated universe for a while.
That's glorious.
Fantastic. I'm really looking forward
Seriously.
to that.
Nice.
Absolutely, man.
Wow.
LT, what you got going on? I know you don't do a lot of YouTubing, but you hang out. But you do a lot of wrenching and stuff, bro.
I think I'm wrenching everywhere except for Loki's channel, I think. I'm just there to say hi in the chat. That's the best part of a lot of the live streams is just the chats are so awesome tonight, on point. There was a lot of fumbles, a lot of interceptions, but a lot of touchdowns too in the chat out there. I can't agree with a lot of people's picks and a lot of people's teams, but hey, that's the way it is. No, I just love being a part of this, Clobby. Thank you very much for inviting me. I never, ever get a chance to talk about football. It's mostly all hockey up here, so I'm sure that my fellow Canadians in the chat and the people who'll be watching this can appreciate that. Go Habs, go! It's football season started. This was a great idea, talking about the great quarterbacks of all time, and everybody here has just an unbelievable channel. Everybody out there in the chat and everybody listen to this, you need to subscribe to these people. Mark D with a C has got some amazing stuff that's going on. Too bad it's a little late at night, but I try to tune in whenever I can. Flava Flavs, that Tuesday night show was just unbelievable, man. I wish I could have been there. It was amazing because that is one of the greatest movies of all time. And Stone Loki, I am every day I'm tuned into your channel. It's 9:00 my time here. I'm there, even if I'm not active in the chat. I'm working away and reading some reports there, catching bad guys. But listen to you, brother. You and Purple Valkyrie's shows at 9 and 11 are my morning shows that I tune into every day. No one else. Clobby, man, that Star Trek show with you and Raquel on Saturday night is just unbelievable. I love it every single time.
Buddy. Thank you,
and I also want to say that it's fun to be here. It's fun to be a part of the team. Global Geek Gang tomorrow, everybody. So tune in 2 Central Time. We'll be there. If I can't be there at the beginning, I'll try to be there at the end. But
cool.
I try to make sure that I tune in on Thursdays because that is a howl. And so thank you for letting me be a part of this, guys.
Thank you for being here, brother. Dude, I'm gonna bug you again sooner than you think. Maybe like I might try to do this once every other month or every other month or whatever to get you guys. I'll think of a good topic. It doesn't have to be a reaction type video, but something to do with the NFL. I'll bug all of you. I'll keep you up to date on it. So
cool.
By the way, big dad man, you're a nice man, and I'm sorry what we did to your Jags tonight. I'm sorry I had to revoke their Mount Rushmore, man. But somebody had to do it, buddy. What Mark D? What they see? What's going on, bro?
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Yeah, that's just, you can bug me anytime to be on a panel like this. Much appreciated. Great fun talking about the NFL and sports ball on this geek network. I think we got a lot of viewers, right? We didn't scare too many people away. So, this was a lot of fun and really appreciate it. And I'll be doing a Sunday night geekery show again. It's too late for LT, but if one of these days, if you have the day off the next day or whatever, maybe you could make it. And
I'd love to.
I've just checked my channel. I got some upcoming 3D printing videos. If I can get my 3D printer to work, it crashed and burned on me this week. But it's a part of the joy of 3D printing. Things don't always work. So,
sure.
But like I printed this. Where did I put my? Where's my Eddie?
I
was showing this on next. So I gotta get this. So those are fun things. I'm gonna go, show how to do things like that. So
sure.
That's all a good time. And so just appreciate if you guys, most of you here have probably subbed and watched some stuff. But yeah, I've subbed to everyone else on this great panel and Loki and Nick and Clobby and LT. Do you have any videos yet? But sub to LT.
Mrs. Thoth keeps bugging me. Mrs. Thoth keeps bugging me to do stuff, and I keep going, I will. I've been putting it off. But yeah, we're going to sometime. I think it's going to be the two of us because she's the normie and I'm the geek, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'd be fun, yeah.
Oh, man.
And then a shout out to Eric K for being here, and I'm sorry to kill you with the Giants banner, but we can still be friends, right?
At least it wasn't the Steelers, and
it wasn't the Steelers.
Yeah,
rethink that.
That's way worse. The Immaculate Deception. Nicholas, what's going on, brother? Thanks for being here, buddy.
Oh, hey, thank you. I'm glad we could get this together. I'm glad I can, work it out in the schedule and make this happen. This has been fun. It's been also a nice change of pace, and talking football is great, especially when it's good football. That it made me excited about football again. That's the funniest part. So now I know, like, tomorrow morning or night, I'm gonna probably watch some old football stuff because I haven't watched it in a while again. Like, I had to get back to the Oh, I know. I was looking at these clips. It just had me reliving glory days all over again. So very thankful for that. For you for inviting me on. For the chat. The chat is great as always. The panelists here, Stone Loki, Mr. Thoth, as always, the Egyptian god, the builder himself, Mark D, you, Clobberin. We got, obviously, tomorrow we got the Global Geek Gang. That'll be fun. And then Saturday, we'll be celebrating me hitting 34 years of brand new life on Saturday afternoon. I got a few album reviews coming out as well, and Toxic Tuesday will be talking The Last Boy Scout. It's going to be great. And there will be some voice impersonation videos coming, so it's going to get really ridiculous all up in this bitch.
You did a nice one today, Nick, with your wrestling impersonation.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
That was nice, yeah.
Quick show notes, and I'm out of here, folks. It's so great to see you, all these wonderful friends here tonight. What a great time I've had. Tomorrow on the Global Geek Gang that gathers geekily or whatever. The dream team ups, the crossovers.
That will not be our rallying cry.
Sounds like Ned Flanders trying to do a rally cry.
We'll do it tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. You name the geek team up crossover between Marvel and DC or what have you. within reason, and I'm going to show it to you because I have a magic trick up my sleeve or whatever. I don't know.
Ooh.
Not really. Yes, sort of magic.
Clobberin times magic.
Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. My wonderful, wonderful first officer and I will be continuing our ongoing mission of reviewing all of Star Trek. In that second season of he gasped. Star Trek: The Next Generation.
They are smart. We are not smart. They are smart.
We're getting there. Smart. We're getting there though, but we have such a wonderful time. Please join us if you like.
Make us go.
Review 4 more. Yeah, you remember that
Make
one.
Us go. Make us go.
Make us go. Make us go. Oh God, you love that one. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk, Chapter 3 of the Great Team Up books. Oh my goodness, I love me a good team up book. I've been having a lot of fun doing this, just talking about the. Look, who doesn't love a good team up of superheroes? These won't be dream team ups. These actually happen though.
Especially when it's Red Sonja. Woo!
Yeah, Byrne drew that issue. That was actually, he drew her something, didn't he?
Hashtag save
Red
Gingers.
Sonja one. Love Red Sonja. So that will be 8 p.m. Central Standard Time Monday night on Monday Night Mark C. Comics Talk. And please take a look at my videos if you're a comics fan and you want to travel back to 1971. I dropped my third video of these today, my third Clobby's Comics Corner, taking you back in time to my magical time machine comic shop. So thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. And I will now play us out, of course, with this wonderful intro-outro made by our good friend who was here with us tonight, my great buddy, the great Stu Loki. Bro, I appreciate it so much, and you know I can't get enough of this theme thing.
Anytime, brother.
Thank you, brother. Good night, everyone.
Clobberin' time!